campus of Appalachian State. The Mountaineers lace them up to take on, in the biggest game in school history, a familiar rival from the Southern Conference, the Furman Paladins, runners-up to the Mountaineers this year. These two meet for the greatest Christmas present of all, a chance to play for a national championship. On a sparkling clear but chilly Saturday afternoon in the mountains of western North Carolina, we welcome you to Kidd Brewer Stadium in Boone, North Carolina. And the second semifinal in the 2005 NCAA Division I AA playoffs. The Southern Conference rivals meeting for the second time this year. The Paladins of Furman visiting the Mountaineers of Appalachian State. The first semifinal was last night in San Marcos, Texas, and in overtime by 3, Northern Iowa knocked off Texas State to make their first ever appearance in the 1AA championship game. They have never played either of these two, but they'll play one of them next Friday at 8 Eastern here on ESPN 2. And welcome to Boone. Dave Barnett, joined by Bill Curry. We'll hear from Janine Edwards in a moment. This is what so many people have lobbied so long and hard for at the 1A level. The playoffs have been in existence at this level in 1AA since 1982. As far as these two are concerned, they're here in large measure because of their quarterback play. And in the case of the Furman Paladins, a familiar name to Florida Gator fans, Ingle Martin, in just 2 years, has rewritten the Paladin record book.
He has rewritten the books, and what a famous transfer story Ingle Martin is, and what a success story. 21-5 as the starting quarterback, and more importantly, 4 last gasp drives to win football games this year. You just don't do that, Dave, unless you're a great leader. The guy even punts 43.4 yards per punt. I don't think there's anything Ingle Martin can't do on a football field.
Same could be said for his counterpart for Appalachian State, Richie Williams, who likewise has rewritten their entire record book.
He has rewritten it to the tune of almost impossible to believe. 81 touchdowns in less than 3 years. 9,160 yards. Dave, that's 5.2 miles of gridiron real estate he's covered. And what a leader. He's been elected captain of his team his sophomore, junior, and senior years. We're going to see 2 great leaders on the field today.
When these two get together, it is just about guaranteed to go down to the wire. They've never played for these stakes, however. The winner goes on to the national championship game. The Mountaineers take the field. We'll hear more about Richie Williams Day when we return.
Why do we love going out to...
College football is all about. This is why you come to Furman, to win national championships and compete for national championships. This is our day. This is our day, but we got to go make it our day. All we talk about here all year long is what? Making plays. I don't care what team you're on, let's make plays today, and let's play 24/7 Furman Paladin football. Let's go, man. Let's go.
Parting words from Bobby Lamb, the fourth-year head coach at his alma mater, Furman, ready to kick it off momentarily against Appalachian State. First, we welcome the third member of our crew on the sidelines with us this afternoon, Janine Edwards.
Well, Dave, to say that Appalachian quarterback Richie Williams... To say that Appalachian quarterback Richie Williams has a lot on his plate today would be an understatement. First here in Kidd Brewer Stadium in his uniform and pads, he hopes to guide his team to their first ever national championship game. Afterwards, he will head down the street to the home center, switch into his cap and gown, and attend his graduation ceremony. That'll be at 6 o'clock this afternoon. The ceremony was originally scheduled for 1 p.m., but school officials decided to move it later so that everyone, including Williams, could attend. That came as a bit of a disappointment to Furman head coach Bobby Lamb, who was hoping for a small miracle and that Williams would be tied up at his graduation and unable to play the game. No such luck. As for Williams, I asked him, how do you hope to celebrate this monumental day? He said, after playing in this game and attending my graduation ceremony, what I'm looking forward to most is getting some sleep. Dave?
Yeah, admirable honesty, and he was also very candid when he said, when we asked him which would feel like a bigger accomplishment today, a win or graduation. He said a win.
I couldn't believe it. He wasn't politically correct. He'd rather win this football. He's already finished the hard part of the other.
Jerry Moore, all-time winningest coach here and in Southern Conference history. Formerly head coach at North Texas and at Texas Tech. And Bobby Lamb, as we've said, in his 4th year guiding his alma mater. Former quarterback who has played in or coached in all 30 playoff games in the history of Furman football. That's including today. Furman won the toss. They have elected to defer. And Appalachian State has Dexter Jackson back, awaiting the opening kick from Scott Beckler. Angling down to the 11. And Brandon Turner on the return for the Mountaineers. 19 yards, and they'll set up with Richie Williams, the all-time record holder, total offense, school and conference. 12 other all-time records for the Mountaineers. He'll get his degree in graphic arts and imaging technology later today.
And one thing we didn't say about him earlier, Dave, he's run for over 900 yards, so he is a true double threat back there at his quarterback position. It's almost like a single wing tailback.
Southern Conference Offensive Player of the Year, captain of this team since he was a sophomore, which gives you a little insight as to how much respect he has from his teammates. Right to the air and too tall on first down, incomplete, intended for William Mayfield. Appalachian State averaging about 31 points per game with this lineup. Richardson, the only running back they're going to suit up today. They better keep him healthy. He's gained almost 1,300 yards. Bettis is a productive tight end. Johnson, Batashon, Jackson. We'll see an awful lot of William Mayfield at wideout as well. And up front, Oliver, Brown, Settle, Robertson, and Eisenhower, who got the award in the Southern Conference this year as the best offensive lineman in the league. On 2nd and 10, Appalachian State will never huddle. They'll go spread, shotgun all day. And on the option pitch, Richardson knocked down at about the 36. Gary Nelson on the tackle for the Furman defense. And they will give up some points, about 27 points per game on average. Their front four with Ravenel Burnett, who will alternate with Jeff Frambrough at nose guard, Bray and Artis, their sack leader, with 4. First 3rd down opportunity of the day. They need 4. Appalachian State will come to the line sometimes with as many as 3 different plays called before they finally snap the ball, depending on what they see defensively. Williams is well protected and slips it complete over the middle for a first down. Richardson out of the backfield, their leading receiver on the year. His 47th catch. He's brought down by Shelton Riley.
This is what the Appalachian State offense consists of largely. This guy hit 28 in a row in 04, 40 for 45 for the day against Furman, throwing just such passes underneath the zone.
This time it's Jackson, knocked for a loss back to the 40. They lose 4. Austin Holmes. As we look at the rest of the Furman defense, Nelson, Jones, and Freeman, the linebackers. Freeman, 2-time first-team All-Southern Conference selection. Blocked a field goal to preserve a win in the first meeting this year. And in the secondary, Holmes, Riley, Thacker, and Duncan. So after the loss, they call it a loss of 3, 2nd down and 13.
That was a big play by Holmes. The lead blocker didn't get out there too. And Richardson loves that lead block roll, but he was a little slow that time.
On the first running play, huge room for Brandon Turner. Into Furman territory for 19 yards to the 40, brought down by Riley.
76 Grant, Oliver, Gary Brown, the left guard, Oliver 75, Brown 76. Great job coming off the ball. That's not easy against this Furman defense. Their linemen, especially Wallace Artis, normally not knocked around that easily.
19 yards for a wide receiver, Brandon Turner, who's the intended target here, and it's incomplete.
Really uncharacteristic by Brendan Turner there. He just turned that ball down. He's a gutty guy who's accustomed to catching balls across the middle and running inside. We said Kevin Richardson had no backup. Well, that's not exactly true, Dave. He
no running back backup.
Yeah, he does the same kind of role, and he'll normally make those tough catches between the zones.
They have some wideouts that they can play at running back if Richardson needs to take a breather, or heaven forbid happens to go down at some point today. So second down and 10. And after the fake, Williams going deep into single coverage for Jackson and incomplete. The coverage provided by Maurice Duncan. It'll be 3rd and 10. Appalachian State in the first round by 11 over Lafayette. 171 yards from Richardson. Last week 38-24 over Southern Illinois, and Williams had the best day of his season. Season high 367 yards through the air and 403 total.
And we're going to see more deep balls today than Appalachian normally throws. They feel like they didn't really exploit the deep routes last time as much as they should have against Furman. And here's the complicated play mechanism, the calling from above that you just discussed, Dave. As many as 3 plays will be called before the final decision's made.
Williams flushed out, throw on the run, had Turner at the 5, and it's 1st and goal. 36 yards. Williams on the run.
Jeremy Blocker, Andrew Thacker, 2 defensive backs, bump into each other, and this is what makes Williams so incredibly difficult to defense. He's sitting in the pocket, protection's pretty good. He wanders out. Furman did not want him out of the pocket, and when the 2 DBs collide back there, then you got Turner wide open, and this time he does come down with the football, 1st down inside the 5.
Goal to go from the 4. And it's Richardson right up the middle, touchdown. For Kevin Richardson, his 16th rushing touchdown of the year.
Scott Settle, the center, Kerry Brown, the left guard, 67, 76 respectively. You can't see their numbers, but they're the ones clearing the way.
The extra point by Julian Roush, 7-0 Mountaineers. Kevin Richardson, the running back out of the spread, perfect blocking. An easy early lead for Appalachian State. But Richardson from 4 yards puts him up 7-0. Richie Williams with a 36-yard connection to Brandon Turner. The big play on that march. 3 out of 6 for 41.
3 out of 6 is terrible for him. He's completing 68% here as a rule.
William Middleton back deep, waiting for the kick from Roush. Very little wind, and coming up to the 15. Middleton's return ending at the 31-yard line. 17 on the return, and Furman with Ingle Martin, the senior from Nashville, Tennessee, former Parade All-America and 2-time Tennessee Division II Player of the Year. 3 state championships there. Started at Florida for a bit. Was replaced by Chris Leak, transferred to Furman, and in just 2 years has become their all-time passing leader with the program only since January 2004.
And Dave, he's learned a completely new skill. He runs the option reasonably well. He is a tremendous athlete.
Behind Richie Williams this year is the 2nd-team All-Southern Conference quarterback. And right away, Jerome Felton, their power runner at fullback, 6'2", 48, 835 yards on the season. Furman offensively, their biggest weapon right there. And along with Felton, Derek Carter, one of the 3-headed tailback rotation. John Rust is a productive tight end. Steppen Sprague, who had the game-winning catch in the first meeting with 31 seconds to go. Up front, Shuford, Lagas, Stewart, Covington, and Kivett. Corey Stewart, a 3-year starter, their best offensive lineman. Through the middle to the 39. where it will be 3rd down and 2. Derek Carter, a senior who was averaging nearly 6 yards per carry, brought down by Jason Hunter, who along with Marcus Morrell, easily the best defensive end tandem in 1AA, one of the best tandems anywhere in college football. West, Kelly, and Smith are the linebackers. Smith very athletic, a former defensive end. And in the secondary, Wose, Wiggins, Lynch, and Touchstone, who's just 5'7", 155. More physical than he looks. Great quick feet. And the short tosses to the tight end, Rust, who will have the 1st down and knocked out right at midfield by Touchstone after a gain of 11.
It's already clear, Dave, that these two teams are really after each other. Brad Bell, backup tight end to Rust, came across that time and leveled Jerome Touchstone, a really good block right there at the end. If you saw that out of the corner of your eye, you viewers, that's who it was. They're looking each other up already, and it's very important that Furman answer. That's what good teams do when opening drives go the distance on them.
Touchstone still shaking it off. Russ, the first team all-conference tight end, gets it to midfield, and Martin again looking to throw on 1st down. And again for Rust, it was low and behind him. Coach has said about Ingle Martin, we go as he goes. And that's another comparison that these two teams have. Both coaching staffs saying almost the same exact things about their quarterbacks.
Yeah, the one I mentioned this earlier about Ingle Martin. He was not happy about running the option. But in the first game against Appalachian, the win came, the Appalachian coaches believe, because he ran the option so well and they were not prepared for it.
On 2nd and 10, the draw play for Carter. Gets a couple yards after being hit, brings it to the 45-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down and 5.
Part of the offensive thinking for Furman University in this game, Tim Sorrells, the offensive coordinator, just came right out and told us, we are going to ram the ball at them. We're going to make them stop the run. We're going to give it to the big guy, Felton, at least 20 times, and that 3-headed monster at tailback will get it a lot as well.
Different approaches. Appalachian State says Furman runs really a bend but don't break defense. They give you a lot of underneath passes, and we saw some of that, but we also saw them go deep successfully on their opening drive. Here are whistles and flags before the snap.
When you run the kind of offense that Furman runs, ball control, coming up for 3rd and 5, and one reason they've been so effective on 3rd down, they've converted 51%, is that they don't make mistakes. This time Russ jumps early. Here's the call. Guess we'll get the official's mic working later. Maybe he turned it on there a little late. Nonetheless, we saw what happened. Russ moved early. Now instead of 3rd and 5, you got 3rd and 10, an entirely different proposition. And that is not what Tim Sorrells likes to call. He's not going to be able to hand it to the fullback here.
Grant Brigham in the game, wide right. Sprague is wide left. Press coverage look by Appalachian State on 3rd down and 10, and the pass is almost picked off. Intended for Justin Stepp. Jeremy Wiggins, the free safety. Their leading tackler, 117 stops for the year, and he almost had his 3rd interception.
Jeremy Wiggins is most noted for his tackling ability. He's got 117 tackles on the year. As Dave said, he leads the team, but this is excellent coverage. He's inside out on Justin Stepp. Dives, lunges, almost comes down with the football.
Ingle Martin, not only their quarterback, but their punter, and one of the best punters in the country, all conference. He would have been 3rd nationally if he had enough attempts to qualify, but their offense is good enough. They don't have to punt all that often, and this one's going to be killed at the 13. 7-0 Appalachian State in the first quarter.
NCAA Championships on ESPN. The Division I AA football semifinals are brought to you by the Acura TSX with MP3 player connectivity. Your life, your car, connected. And Fear, the epic PC experience of action and terror. Rated M for mature.
They routinely put in 7,000 more fans than there are seats here at Kidd Brewer Stadium. Capacity 16,000, 23,000 plus is not unusual here at all. And leading 7-0, the Mountaineers take over. They're 14. And on the run by T.J. Corman, Roy Ravenel makes the tackle. Let's send it down to Janine Edwards.
Well, Dave, by all accounts, this is the biggest game in Appalachian State history. The school conducted a poll on their website, and over 90% of the respondents said this game is crucial, not only because this is all that stands in their way of going to a Division I AA national championship, but because it's Furman they're playing today. And, of course, the long and storied history and rivalry of these two teams, their last 6 games have been decided by a total of 15 points, and 3 of their last 4 matchups have been decided in the final minute of play. It's easy to see why the fans feel this way.
Williams on the keeper with a first down to the 29. The last 3 visits, Janine, that Furman has paid to Kidd Brewer Stadium, all decided by 1 point. All Mountaineer wins. Home team 8 of the last 9. Furman in Greenville, South Carolina earlier this year, 34-31. That went down to the last play, a blocked field goal. Last 10 meetings split. Average in the last 6 meetings less than 3, barely 2 points per game. Every reason to expect more of the same today. So a first down from the 29 for Richie Williams at Appalachian State. In their 3rd semifinal, they have never won in this round. They have never advanced to a championship game. Furman has, and they won 1AA in 1988. Again, the option pitch, and Richardson is dragged down for a loss of a couple by Brandon Williams, a redshirt freshman who backs up Gary Nelson at outside backer. So it's obviously a huge accomplishment, Bill, to get to this level, but then to look across the line and see such a familiar group of faces. Your conference rivals, one of your conference rivals. It's easy why that poll that Janine referred to, 92% of the respondents said this is the biggest game in school history.
Yeah, and that's why these play calls that we're being able to watch so studiously here, because they're taking place right in front of us rather than in a huddle, are so important. You got to change your tendencies when people know you so well.
Williams all day swings it for Richardson. A marked man, and a short gain knocked out at the 30. Kevin Richardson, who had 46 catches coming into today, said in all of his high school career in Elizabethtown, North Carolina, he caught 2, and 1 was by accident, which he took for a touchdown.
He wasn't supposed to catch it. He said, I was supposed to block, but I just ran out and waved at the quarterback and yelled. That was hilarious. That was kind of like finding out that Paul Warfield caught 1 pass at Ohio State before going into the NFL and becoming a Hall of Fame receiver. I had not heard a story like that since the Warfield days.
Well, 3 yards in a cloud of dust didn't allow too much for the wideout.
No, Woody threw him 1, though.
Here's 3rd and 9. Blitz is picked up. Pass is complete. First down. William Mayfield still battling and reaches the 44. Pickup of 14. Andrew Thacker finally wrestling Mayfield down.
Here's what we're seeing so far in this game. It's obvious to you as it is to me. I don't even have to tell you. The protection has been superb. Really good by Oliver, Brown, Suttle, Robertson, Eisenhower, keeping people away from that quarterback. As Furman continues to play its bend but don't break zone coverage.
Mountaineers moving it again on their 2nd possession. They put Turner in motion. And after the fake handoff, in pitch, here's Williams for another first down to the 45. 1 fake you might expect. 2 fakes, and then the keeper is why they see Richie Williams as such a special athlete.
And that was none other than William Freeman, number 49, that left part of his equipment on the field right there. He got faked out of his jock strap, and, well, he might. Any of us would have by that move. Brilliant quarterback play by the young man who does it so very often.
Timeout called by Appalachian State. 6:43 in the first. They're up 7 and moving again. Appalachian State has reached the 45 of Furman, leading 7-0, but at least for the time being, Richie Williams knocked out of the game. At the end of that option keeper, he took a shot to the chin from the strong safety Shelton Riley.
Here's Riley coming across. Sort of a little club move up underneath the chin. It appears that maybe it connected. Now, you must know that Trey Elder, number 15, has the total confidence of his football team and of his staff, his coaching staff. You listen to Jerry Moore talk about him. They do not hesitate to put him in and run the same offense.
Elder, a sophomore from Duncan, South Carolina, right to the air, and he's going to throw for a touchdown. Dexter Jackson. Not a bad start. Trey Elder, one pass, 45-yard touchdown. The man he beat, the man who just put Williams out of the game, Riley.
If you're Shelton Riley, you better not mess with our quarterback or we're going to come after you. Sooner or later in a zone coverage, when Dexter Jackson is loose on you, it ends up being man-to-man in the final analysis. Riley got beat. A perfect throw from the young quarterback.
And extra point by Roush, 14-0 Mountaineers. Trey Elder never started a loss in his quarterbacking career. That is to date, high school or college.
When you know how to win, you don't have to warm up very long. And I don't want to make too much of the fact that just because he's a winner that he makes that throw, because that was a perfect throw, and that's not an easy throw on the move, especially with that kind of pressure on you and all the attention to this game. But a nice job by Dexter Jackson of splitting the zone, getting behind Shelton Riley, and a perfect throw.
South Carolina Mr. Football his senior year, and Duncan.
You got to wonder where the big schools have been with these great quarterbacks coming out of the state of South Carolina. I know Jerry Moore is grateful.
Well, Richie Williams tore an MCL late in his high school career, and it's surprising to me that that injury still takes so many prospects off so many recruiting lists, because it's decades since that was the kind of thing that ended careers, much less even limited players once they recovered from the injury. Williams looking as if he's going to hopefully get back into the game. At least will definitely try to talk his way back in. But it's amazing to me how many players have been great through their high school career. They have that injury, and all of a sudden everyone loses interest in him. That's what happened to Richie Williams.
There are too many guys that are healthy. That's the answer, Dave. That's the reason.
This kick will be a touchback to Middleton. And Janine, what have you found out about Richie Williams?
Well, head trainer Jim Shorten has been evaluating Richie. It looks like they're going to be taking him back in and maybe rewrapping his ankle. His left ankle, he got leg whipped, as they said. It's pretty sore right now. They're going to give him some time to kind of walk it off. And Jim said right now it is questionable. They would like to put him back in. They just don't know yet.
Well, so it was not a shot to the chin. He got leg whipped across his ankle. And that's certainly better than a head injury or a concussion or some sort of head trauma, but not good anyhow.
Ingle Martin on play action. Has that one batted down, intended for John Russ, defended by Monte Smith. I want to go back to what you said about the reason recruiters get off of players. If you like a player well enough to have him on your list, there's a great chance you're going to redshirt him through the recovery to that injury anyway, right? So
yes.
Aren't you going to like him just as well when he's recovered?
But there are so many good players these days. You got another guy who didn't tear his knee. You take him instead. That's what normally happens with the big schools, especially the ones that sort of get to cherry pick who they want.
Cedric Gibson is checked in, part of the three-headed tailback for Furman. And on second down to 10, again, it's Martin to the air, and this time Rust is wide open for a first down to the 39. 19-yard pickup to the tight end from Burlington, North Carolina, brought down by both safeties, Corey Lynch and Jeremy Wiggins.
Nice job of splitting the deep zone this time by the tight end, John Rust. This is what you do to a two deep. The backers are not running to cover that zone to force the higher throw. Corey Lynch is there to make the play, but a perfect throw and catch from Ingle Martin to his tight end Rust.
Strong stand by the front four of Appalachian State on the first down running play. Furman got here by knocking off Nicholls State by 2 and Richmond by 4. In their 6th semifinal, national champions in 1988, the only private school ever to win the 1AA title. All-time winningest program in the history of the Southern Conference.
You know, that's an amazing reality. The only private school ever to win the 1AA. That's quite an accomplishment.
Martin shows his escapability, then turns back and throws complete for Patrick Sprague at the 30. So we've seen the wizardry of Richie Williams on the double fake keeper where he was knocked out of the game. Now we see a little from Martin. Scrambling left, throwing right for 29 yards.
This is so hard. This doesn't look hard when somebody like Ingle Martin does it. But that's Jason Hunter chasing. Jason Hunter is probably faster than Martin is, but he pulls up, makes the throw across his body, and had his receiver, Patrick Sprague, not slipped and fallen, he would have run in the end zone most likely. Great improvisation by Ingle Martin, and that's what outstanding quarterbacks have to be able to do.
So their deepest penetration, first down, and Gibson takes the toss for about 5 at the 26. Daniel Orlebar on the tackle. You look at Martin's postseason numbers. You've seen the two elements his coaches talked about on that next to last play, the big arm and the escapability.
Yeah, and when we see him run like that, I'm going to say this again because it's going to surface in this game. He can run the down the line option. He can run the trap option, and that's what Appalachian had so much trouble with. Here's Williams on the sideline.
I'm trying to talk, one would think, his coaches into putting him back as Martin is buried on the option keeper after a yard gain. Ingle Martin, 2 years in Gainesville with the Florida Gators before he came to Furman to start lighting it up. 2002 and 2003 when he started the first 4 games of the season. Had some big moments. Ron Zook replaced him with Chris Leak. January 2004 he transferred to Furman. In 2 years, their all-time leading passer. Here's 3rd and 5.
That'll be on the defense. They'll call that on Jason Hunter, and just as big a mistake as Furman's Rust made earlier, that's just as big a mistake by Hunter, because that'll either give him a first down or put him very close to one, in which case they will hand it to the big fella Felton. And you said he was 248, Dave. He hadn't seen 248 since the 9th grade. He is a big. I was down there in warm-up. He's at least 260, and he is not fat.
Gene Hartland.
Offsides, 97 defense. 5-yard penalty. Yards makes it first down.
So the flag on Hunter will move it to the 21. First down, Paladins. These defensive ends, Jason Hunter and Marcus Morrell, have combined for 21 sacks and 39 tackles for a loss. Those numbers would be good for a lot of entire defensive units. This is Felton and a play that's going to come back again because of whistles and flags. Felton took that one well inside the 5, dragging Wiggins along the way. Furman not celebrating quite as readily as they did on the last call.
No. Snap. False start. 86 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
The second tight end, Brad Bell.
Yeah, they're in there with 2 tights, and obviously they were going to hand it to Felton. And I've already said, they told us they're going to do that a lot today. 1st and 15 probably takes them out of that. The Appalachian players love their crowd. Southern Illinois had trouble with snap counts a week ago in this very same stadium for the very same reason.
Back to the 26, 1st and 15. Martin played fake, pump fake, going deep, incomplete. Intended for Justin Stepp, their leading receiver. First team All-Southern Conference.
And what 1st and 15 does to Furman is it takes them out of what they really want to do. They are one of the few teams that we see, Dave, that really lines up in traditional formations. They got a tight end, they got 2 wide receivers, 2 backs a lot of the time, not all the time, but a lot. Sometimes 2 tight ends. We don't see the spread stuff as much from them as we do from others. They want to line up and knock it down your throat, and you can't do that. Now it's 2nd and 15. They got to throw the ball or run the option or the play action off the option.
Staying in the eye. Motion from Sprague. Martin on the roll. Settles short and incomplete. Not his best pass. Threw it low and behind Sprague. 3rd and 15.
That's the 2nd time Sprague has slipped, and it was not a good throw, but he might have gotten back to it. I should mention that this field still has icy patches down there before the game. You could walk around and feel somebody's going to slip here, somebody's going to slip there. Not many, but just a few. Unfortunately, Patrick Sprague seems to have found a couple of them.
2-for-1 advantage for the Mountaineer offense in total yardage. Derek Carter back in the backfield on 3rd and 15. And a delayed blitz. Carter only to the 18. He got about half of what he needed. And we'll look for Scott Beckler to come on after the tackle by Justin Wozay. Field goal unit will come on, and the sophomore from Anderson, South Carolina, Scott Beckler, second time first team all-conference, who has hit a little bit of a rough patch lately. He's their school record holder for kick points in a year, 92.
That's right. This is a tough kick for a right-footed kicker off the right hash. Nobody's exactly sure why, but right-footed kickers miss more from here.
From 36 yards to get the Paladins on the board. And he pushed it all the way. No good, wide right. Never had a chance.
It's the strangest thing. Right-footed kickers on the right hash, left-footed kickers on the opposite hash tend to push the ball or pull it. There's something about the optical illusion of that angle that makes it more difficult.
So the best drive of the day for Furman, but they come up empty on the miss by Beckler. Still 14-0. As much as they did. Yeah. 14-0. Richie Williams sat out the last play run by the Mountaineers, which was a touchdown pass from Trey Elder to Dexter Jackson. And Elder will stay in the game and take over 1st and 10 at the 20.
I was really surprised at the way the coaches just bragged on Elder, as if to say, we really are just about as comfortable with him in there as we are with Richie. I didn't believe him, but we'll see if he continues.
Well, his first play was an eye-opener. And they set up the screen for Richardson, blown up. That one never had a chance, and they lose 5. So the Furman defense clearly drawing a circle around Kevin Richardson as a receiver out of the backfield, as a target to keep track of every single down.
Well, that's a real good idea, since he's got 46 catches. He carries the ball, he blocks, he does a little bit of everything. He really is an amazing guy to not have played any more than he did prior to this year.
Richardson's 3rd catch for a total of 6 yards as he goes back 5 to the 15. Elder on the quarterback draw. Back past the original line of scrimmage to bring up a 3rd down and 9. Tonight, college football's most prestigious award is handed out on ESPN. And the questions will finally be answered. Can Matt Leinart become only the 2nd 2-time Heisman Award winner ever? Or will his USC teammate Reggie Bush or Texas quarterback Vince Young capture the honor this year? The Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Capital One on ESPN tonight at 8 Eastern, followed by Code Breakers. You, like so many, have gotten off the Vince Young bandwagon.
I was on Vince's bandwagon.
Elder way over Turner, and they'll have to kick it away.
Until Reggie went for 5-13 against Fresno and made every play known to man for his team to win.
That seemed to do it. Richie Williams headed toward the locker room with just a slight limp. Janine reported earlier they will probably retape him in there, see if they can get him battle ready again. Injured at the end of a brilliant option keeper. Elder came in immediately through the second touchdown to Dexter Jackson. Matt Dodge for his first punt. Freshman from Morehead City, North Carolina. Justin Stett will set the Paladins up in great shape at the 43 of Appalachian State. Only 33 on the kick, and Stett brought it back 11. .29 seconds to go in the quarter. And this is the first year I can remember where there were not 4 and 5 legitimate candidates. It's been a 3-man race all season long between these three, with Bush seeming, in most opinions, to overtake Vince Young with that Fresno State performance, and Leinart having had a better season this year than he did last year when he won it.
Yeah, but I just think it's a shame that you got 3 great ones in the same year.
Brandon Mays on his first carry. He's their third tailback to see action today, and maybe gouges out a yard.
We talked about what Furman has to do to run the offense that they wish to run. We have not talked about what Appalachian State clearly needs to do, which is what we just saw, and that is to stone the run on first down, make them come up second and long, and make them think. Now, do we throw the ball? Do we run the option? I think the most dangerous thing they could do is the play action off the option.
All Appalachian State in the first quarter. A Richardson 4-yard touchdown, and Elder to Jackson for 45. One touchdown for Santa in the first quarter for the Mountaineers. They lead 14-0. Start of the second quarter. Second down to 9 at the 42 for Ingle Martin and Furman. They had one serious possession of the first quarter, ending in a missed field goal. Justin Step in motion. They stay out of the eye with a give or a fake to Mays. And Martin for Step just over his outstretched hand inside the 20. Let's look at our game track, brought to you by Coca-Cola. Appalachian State scoring on its first possession. Kevin Richardson took it over from 4 yards out. And then after this brilliant double fake keeper, Richie Williams would leave the game. And has not returned, but on his first play, Trey Elder hooking up with Dexter Jackson for 45 yards. So here's 3rd and 9 for the Paladins. Carter has re-entered the game alongside Martin in the shotgun. Safety blitz. And Sprague reaches back, makes the catch. First down at the 31, a gain of 11. Beating the coverage of Justin Wozay.
Really nice job here of bailing out his offense. Ingle Martin, when they're in a situation they really don't like, which is 3rd and 11, they really like to keep the chains, stay behind the chains, meaning making at least 4 yards per carry. But if you can throw and catch like that on a tough field like this, then you can keep drives alive and not squander this great field position they've got.
Now that time they overcame 2nd and 9. Their goal is 4 yards or more every first down. And here's a good way to get it. Jerome Felton. Felton barreling over tacklers, touchdown.
The big fellow is doing exactly what his coaches had hoped. They were not bashful about telling us, and we've told you viewers, you're going to see this guy with the ball in his hands at least 20 times in this game. And when he gets it, take a look and see if you'd like to take him on. Look at the momentum. Look at the way he lowers his shoulder. He's an upright runner, but when a tackler approaches, he puts the shoulder pads in their face mask, and that is not fun. Corey Lynch, one of the better tacklers, got run over.
1 of 3. Beckler makes it 14-7. Felton with 3 broken tackles on the way to getting Furman on the board early in the second quarter. His 17th rushing touchdown of the year.
Sorry about that. The plugs are right here.
Can you say?
Which is called their X Factor. And they also say he could play for any Division 1A school in the country. It's Not hard to find believers on the Appalachian State coaching staff.
He could play for the Steelers. They got a guy named the Bus. Jerome Bettis wears 36. Look just like this guy, except I think Felton's faster now.
Beckler has it teed up. Jackson waiting at the goal line. And the squib kick returned to the 43-yard line by Cam Spear. Let's send it down on the sidelines to Janine Edwards.
Well, Dave, you guys are right about Jerome Felton. He has definitely been the workhorse of this Furman offense. But what a lot of people may not know is that he was actually born in Germany, where his mother was a professional gymnast. Jerome himself is a professionally trained scuba diver. His brother Simon is a 23-year-old infantryman in the Army. Jerome says, I have tremendous respect for him and all the military. They're making the world a safer place.
And he's got himself into the record books, Eagle season scoring record. Appalachian State with Elder quarterbacking his second complete series, and they start with a pickup of 9 on the ground on first down. As Richardson's brought down by Wallace Artis.
And we certainly agree with Jerome about our service people and how very much we appreciate everything they do. Get a chance to say that in these kinds of forums is such a privilege.
Richardson stumbling right at the first down marker. This may be close enough for a measurement. Actually, they say not close enough. He is short by inches. Middle linebacker Andrew Jones on the tackle. So it'll be third and about that much.
Yeah, little bitty plays like that, things that seem very small, really affect big games like this because there's so much emotion on the field, and Furman has come right back now, and especially with the loss of the starting quarterback for Appalachian, they need to make those first downs and not have to have the pressure of a 3rd and short where they may get stuffed again.
Gene Hartleb and his crew decided it is at least close enough to measure. So out come the change. Sure enough, he's got it by the nose of the ball. First down, Mountaineers.
Don't you know the officials really appreciate the fact that Brandon Turner was over there to help them, indicating that it's a first down? Usually it's about half the team. They try to shoo you away, but you have to go help them.
Well, in this case, Brandon had a point.
He didn't want to have to try to make that first down on 3rd and short.
So from the 48 of Furman. Appalachian State 10-3. They were the Southern Conference champions this year, 6-1. Their only loss to a 1AA team was in the first meeting with the Paladins this year, 34-31, October 8th at Furman. Elder keeping, cutting back to the 31-yard line. A gain of 17, and did he cough it up at the end? Furman indicating they've recovered it. But no official yet agreeing. I think we'll see Shelton Riley on the bottom of that pile. Does he come up with the ball or not? Yep. Furman recovers.
First turnover in the game, the first really big break, what you could characterize as a break. But what do you do when a rookie comes in the game? You try to rip the football away from him. And the one thing that Trey Elder has not been allowed to do in a long, long time is to be in a full-speed situation and have people ripping at the ball. Brilliant execution here. He's got the ball tucked pretty well. Great job by Shelton Riley of ripping it out, NFL style, putting it on the ground. Good defense by Furman.
William Freeman will get credit for the recovery, something Furman's defense has had a difficult time with this year as they give it back to Felton. You saw their first fumble recovery in 22 quarters, only their 6th all season. They are 100th nationally in takeaways and minus 11, their turnover ratio for the year. For a team that's 11-2, that is remarkable to have a minus 11.
When you're minus 11, you just assume you're going to have a losing season. And they've been able to overcome that, and that's the first turnover that defense has gotten in a long, long time.
Well, they got it honestly. Textbook rip job by Riley to get it away from Elder, if Freeman could recover. Derek Carter on the draw play. He breaks some tackles, still on his feet. Monte Smith with an angle knocks him out inside the 15.
And the highly touted Jason Hunter, number 97, the right defensive end, who's had such a great year, had him in his grasp. 97, you see him right there at the top of your screen. Has a piece of him right there. He didn't run through him and drag him down. He didn't finish the job. But Carter did. What a great run by Derek Carter. Now Furman has things going the way they would like to have them, with a dominating running game.
48 yards for Carter. One of 4 backs who average around 6 yards per carry for the Paladins. Again, rolling to his left, hurdling his way to the end zone. Touchdown, Ingle Martin. Reggie Bush style that time.
In the open today, Dave, we said there's probably nothing that Ingle Martin can't do on a football field. We did not know that he could duplicate Reggie Bush's athleticism, but this is what he looks like. Leaping over Jeremy Wiggins. Wiggins needs to keep his head up. A heck of a shot at the goal line by Corey Lynch, but too late. What a great job by Ingle Martin to take that in the end zone.
Beckler to tie the game. He pushed that one wide right, and it is still 14-13. Just the second missed point after this season by Beckler. We documented the problems he's had lately with field goals. He's missed one of those, and now the missed PAT after the spectacular scoring run by Ingle Martin got him within 1.
The Division I AA football semifinals are brought to you by Coca-Cola. Make it real.
14-13 game after the missed extra point. Northern Iowa awaits the winner for the 1AA championship. Ingle Martin has done it with his arm and with his legs this afternoon.
And he punted the ball dead at the 13-yard line instead of just knocking it in the end zone like so many punters do. He just does everything well.
Beckler having a rough day. Jackson from the 7. And Appalachian State starting from the 25. And we are now told Richie Williams will not return today. So Jerry Moore has Trey Elder in charge the rest of the way.
Oh, that's nice for Trey Elder, but it's just terrible for that great young man and for this football team, really for both teams, because you want to see the best players get to finish the job and find out who can win that way. That's too bad. You hate to see that for anybody on either team.
And with this much at stake, in his last home appearance, he graduates later this evening, but Richie Williams will not get a chance to settle anything on the field. He'll watch his sophomore backup Trey Elder take over from here. Andrew Jones, the middle linebacker, after the gain of 4, the running play. So Elder has already shown that he is not in the least overwhelmed by the situation or the stakes.
He is going to have to secure the football, though. That's a brilliant statement, wasn't it?
Piled up for no gain. And it'll be 3rd and 5. Now, how does this affect what Furman will try to do defensively? Not as many spectacular plays probably expected from Elder as they had already seen from Williams. Do they change anything? Do they become more aggressive and come after him more than they might have Williams?
I think they're playing just the same stuff they were playing before, but they're playing with a little more enthusiasm and intensity. They're not off balance the way they were early in the game. This defense of Furman has a history of playing poorly early and then tightening up as the game progresses. That's what we're seeing here. Plus the execution of their offense has got them jacked up.
After motion from Turner, Jackson holds it in for a first down to the 37. Riley with the tackle. Riley, who caused the fumble that led to the second Furman touchdown.
Really nice pass rush stunt by Furman. Number 90, J.J. Marks, right up the middle. And this proves the courage of young Elder. He knows he's going to get hit in the sternum. He delivers the football, makes the first down, and takes the shot. Now, there's another answer to your question. Furman is stunting more and doing different things because they're not as concerned about the feet and the speed of the quarterback.
Back to the air. And the short toss. Daniel Bettis, the tight end, with his first grab today. The most productive in terms of points per catch of all the Appalachian State receivers. Duncan and Freeman on the tackle. 27 catches, 8 for touchdowns coming into today. An Appalachian State record for a tight end for touchdowns in the season for Bettis, junior from Roswell, Georgia. And he was good for 6, second down and 4. On the option, Elder keeping for the first down. Spins past midfield, is belted at the 47. A pickup of 10.
Now watch Elder this time. This is very important. Very important. He gets in traffic. He's making a nice run. What does he do? Watch him cover the football. Watch him put 2 hands over it. It got knocked loose again. He's got 2 hands on the ball this time. He does not lose it. I was surprised to see that he darn near did it. I missed that. I didn't see that from my vantage point until we got the replay.
Well, he's got the Mountaineers on the move again. Gives inside for Richardson. Richardson is into the secondary. And runs flat over Riley. 14 yards to the 33.
Nice job of blocking. Guys up front. 66, Scott Suttle, the former walk-on offensive center, so much respected. And then you got Kevin Richardson running over folks out there. Maurice Duncan got a mouthful of right there, Larry.
Option left this time, and Richardson knocked out by Williams for no gain. Brandon Williams that time doing a good job cracking the pitch man.
Well, what happened there is that's inexperience. Trey Elder didn't really carry out the option properly. You got to attack the inside shoulder of the outside guy so that you force him to turn. He never got there. He pitched the ball early. Brandon Williams was not threatened with the quarterback run, so he was able to defend the quarterback and the pitch back and make the play. Nice job by Brandon Williams.
Richardson to the 30. And it'll be 3rd and 7. One more look now at what Elder didn't do on that previous option, Bill.
Yeah, when he comes off the field, his coaches will get with him. He never got to the pitch guy. So Brandon Williams wasn't threatened that he might run with the ball. When he pitched it, he just turned, ran, and made the tackle. You've got to explode toward the inside shoulder of the man who's responsible for the quarterback, which in that case was Brandon Williams. Nice job of defense again, I say again, by Williams.
5 wide outlook on 3rd down and a timeout. .8:55 to go in the half. 14-13 Appalachian State in the semifinals. .14-13 the Mountaineers lead. So many of the recent meetings between these two Southern Conference rivals have been so memorable, none more so than 3 years ago, as the Mountaineers come out looking for a 3rd down and 7 conversion from the 30. Trey Elder, who has never started a loss as a quarterback in his career here in high school. In for the injured Richie Williams, out for the game. Well protected. Floater is still brought in by William Mayfield. First down inside the 17, a gain of 14. Not much on that throw by Elder. It fluttered to Mayfield, and it gave Maurice Duncan a chance to get a pretty good blow in, but Mayfield hangs on.
Not much on the throw because he was getting drilled as he threw it by Paul White, number 40. Furman came with pressure. They came with a safety blitz, which allowed White to be one-on-one.
Give inside to Richardson for maybe a foot or two. Roy Ravenel quickly hopping on Kevin Richardson.
And while the play is being called and perhaps recalled again by Appalachian State, here's another thing with a young quarterback. It's not going to be quite as smooth as with the veteran. It's not like with Richie Williams. They're going to have to adjust. They seem to be doing a good job.
Fake to the motion man. Turner, Elder looks up, lots of room. Pump fake. Elder inside the 7, first and goal. He may not be as fast or as spectacular as Richie Williams, but you have to keep track of Trey Elder as a running threat.
The one thing that continues here is that he is a risk in ball security because he does not put the ball away. Even though he knows he's going to run, he doesn't try to put it away until he feels like he's approaching tacklers, and that's a dangerous way to do it. As soon as he bolts out of there, he needs to tuck that thing up against his rib cage.
About 9 yards per carry. Not bad. First and goal from the 6. Richardson already with 1 touchdown. Stretches and has another. Dragging Jeremy Blocker to the goal line. Kevin Richardson's 2nd touchdown today.
The hard way. He did get the ball across and break the plane for the touchdown.
Roush for the extra point, 21-13. Williams is out, but no visible drop-off for the Appalachian State offense. Back up by 8. Appalachian State 21-13, middle of the 2nd quarter. Kevin Richardson capping the scoring drive of 75 yards in 12 plays. And Julian Roush ready to kick it deep to William Middleton. Almost no wind today. It's a very chilly day. It was in the teens when the teams arrived. I expected to maybe hit the high 30s. But after freezing rain about 48 hours ago, we couldn't ask for better playing conditions today as the kick goes out at the 1. Now 2002, if you saw this, you will never forget it. Furman going for 2, up 15-14, trying to go for a 3-point lead. Josh Jeffries with the interception, the lateral to Derek Black, and Appalachian State returning to win the game 16-15. And if that was the only defensive PAT that had ever happened since they put that rule in about 15 years ago, the rule would still have been worth it. The last 6 meetings have all gone about like that.
Well, it would have been worth it to App State.
To fans who got to see that bizarreness.
You're right.
Last 3 meetings here, all 1-point Mountaineer wins. Hello, Cedric Gibson meets Jason Hunter in a most unsociable setting.
We asked Bobby Lamb in our conference call, what's your biggest concern? He said, I'm scared to death of those 2 defensive ends. Well, there's one of them. That's Jason. The other one, Marcus Murrell on the other side, 44, equally tough.
They were Little League football teammates. They played 1 year of high school together, the only year of high school ball Hunter played. A strike to the 44-yard line. Justin Stepp makes the diving grab for 11. I had to read that 3 or 4 times to believe it. Jason Hunter played 1 year of high school football. Scoreless first quarter. 111 and counting, with 13 points and counting here in the 2nd. On 3rd down and 1, who should get the call to Jerome Felton, and he'll move it to the 48, where Brad West and Zod Kelly, the linebackers, make the tackle, but it's 1st down Furman.
Another big thing that happened just recently we didn't have a chance to comment on was the kickoff that went out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Allowed field position for Furman. You don't want to let this kind of offense start at the 35-yard line. That's one of the most important aspects of football. And now they're out near the 50, which is exactly what they want.
Back to Felton. They're ready for him this time. Still takes about half the defense. They'll hold him to a gain of 1.
By golly, it took 4 of them. And, well, now he's nipped. We sure don't want to see that. It's a shame in any game, really, to see the guys getting injured. But key players going out of a game like this, you just hate it for them. I'm not saying that Jerome's going out, but he did get dinged a little bit. And one of the risks when you're hard to bring down is that you're going to draw a crowd, especially these guys in the black shirts. This is the way they practice. I watched them Thursday night in a driving sleet storm out here in about 33 degrees, and they didn't bat an eye. They just practiced just like you just saw, pursuit drills and everything else.
That last hit by Omar Byram seemed to do it, at least temporarily, to knock Felton out of the game. Martin so effective throwing on the run, and Ryan Mackey with his 7th catch of the season in front of Justin Wozay. Ryan, a cousin of former South Carolina basketball star B.J. Mackey. His father James was the blocking back for Heisman Trophy winner George Rogers at South Carolina. Back to the 2-point conversion, though. Since I don't know when, it's been puzzling that so many coaches seem to think they need to go for 2 early after their first mixed extra point. And statistically, that usually doesn't work out the way they hope. Gibson this time takes the knock helmet to helmet from Jeremy Wiggins. And it may take Gibson a while to get up.
There's some serious hitting going on down there, obviously, but Furman continues to move the ball. They're making first downs. They're grinding it out. This is Furman's game. This is what they want to do. Just have to hope, again, that Gibson's okay. But when you have a game that is this hotly contested, you're going to get dinged up a bit. Back to the 2-point thing, David. All those charts that you see about going for 2 are predicated on the assumption that it's the last score of the game. You go for 2 when you're not going to get a chance to score another touchdown. You've got a better chance of scoring 2 points by kicking it twice than going for 2 twice. Statistically, much better chance. So when you get down to a situation like this, for instance, if Furman should score, and here's a replay of the big hit. Nice play call with a misdirection, but didn't fool Jeremy Wiggins, who got over there for the big strike on Gibson. Looks like he's going to be fine. That's very good. But on the 2-point thing, if Furman scores here, they should kick the extra point, assuming that they're going to score some more touchdowns in the game.
Why do you think so many coaches don't seem to realize that?
Because they haven't spoken to Homer Smith, who taught me that after I'd been coaching for many, many years. I thought I knew a lot, but when you talk to Homer Smith, he studied all these things, and he's the one that, and we lost a game to LSU once at Alabama because I went for 2 and I shouldn't have early in the game.
Felton didn't stay out long. He's back in as Carter dots the I. Felton on the carry on 2nd down and a couple. He's going to be close for the first. ESPN Original Entertainment presents Code Breakers, an ESPN original movie that explores the notorious 1950 cheating scandal involving the football team at West Point. Scott Glenn stars as Coach Earl Red Blake, the hard-nosed perfectionist whose methods create an explosive environment in one of our country's most hallowed institutions. Code Breakers presented by Kay Jewelers on ESPN tonight, 9 Eastern, immediately following the Heisman Trophy presentation.
Be sure to tune that in. ESPN was kind enough to send us out a disc so that we could watch that. It is so well done. It gets all the subtle nuances and what those kids went through. A very difficult moment in the history of the academy. And Coach Red Blake, a little bit short on the first down measurement there. But it's one of the finest things I've seen. And I'm not just saying that because our company did it. It is really, it handles a very delicate situation extremely well.
Well, there's certain actors that are bad movie red flags, but Scott Glenn is just the opposite. He's in a movie, it's good.
It's going to be good. Yeah, and he does a great job. He is Red Blake. I guess the test of a movie is if it suspends your disbelief. You feel like you're sitting there with Red Blake and Vince Lombardi and the rest of them. Lombardi was an assistant on that staff. Wonder what they'll do here.
Perhaps number 45. Nope. Martin will sneak and get it and get about 3 extra. The 28.
And a great job of running a sneak. A lot of quarterbacks don't know how to do that. Ingle Martin got his pads down, drove his legs, got in behind those big rear ends of his linemen, and made that first down. That's how you run a quarterback sneak.
Let's check in with Janine Edwards.
Well, Dave, Coach Bobby Lamb told us the theme this year for Furman has been no quit, resilient. He says they keep trying no matter what.
We've seen that carried out here today, coming from behind all afternoon. Fake to Carter, end around step, not fooling number 44, Marcus Morrell. And Janine, please continue.
Yes, Dave. Lamb said games where we've been dominated for 3 quarters, we won on the last play of the game. He said it's been an unusual year in that respect, coming through in the 4th quarter. He said one thing about it is the team really believes in quarterback Ingle Martin. He said they've really responded to the good senior leadership. And 5 games this year, Furman has won by 4 points or less, guys.
That's been his specialty. They never feel they're out of the game. On 2nd and long, the tight end Rust is open over the middle. Inside the 20. I think a little bit shy of the first, a gain of 15, beating Corey Lynch.
This is really kind of funny to watch because Ingle Martin was so excited to throw this, and he was supposed to do a pump fake, but he got so excited when he saw Rust running wide open, he just interrupted the pump fake and just lobbed it out there, which was exactly the right decision.
Inches shy on 3rd down. Last time Martin sneaked for about 3. Try that again or give to Felton. Felton it is. And he will power his way all the way to the 15. A gain of 4 for another Furman first down inside 4 minutes and a half.
This starts to wear on a defense. You got Brian Lagus and Corey Stewart and Patrick Covington coming off the football. Those 3 interior people that Furman is so justifiably proud of this year. And you start to grind the defense down. It's 3rd and 1, but he makes 4 yards. He doesn't just make 1.
Gibson has returned after taking a hard hit out of bounds by Wiggins and takes the handoff up the middle, breaks some tackles, gets inside the 5. 1st and goal, Paladins. A gain of 11 for Cedric Gibson.
So plays that were making 2 yards in the 1st quarter are making 11 yards now. The guys up front on defense have to work harder than the offensive linemen. They have to take on the block. They have to shed the block. They have to run to the football, make the tackle, get the back on the ground. All those offensive linemen have to do is to keep coming off. And if you do that long enough and hard enough, you can grind the defense down. That's what's happening.
A lot of guys out there in the black and gold breathing pretty heavily right now. Both offenses strive for balance. They are among the most balanced in the country at any level. And on 1st and goal, Felton right up the gut. Touchdown.
Now kick the extra point. You got to bet. I'll say this again. This is statistically easily supportable. You got a better chance to score 2 points by kicking it both times than by going for 2 twice. If you think your kicker can make an extra point. That's part of the equation too. If you don't think he can make it, then maybe you better go for 2.
Well, they're going to kick it, and Beckler's made all but 2 this season. 54 out of 56 with the miss earlier today, and he comes right back strong. Jerome Felton, 2nd team all-conference, makes it 21-20. And who do you key on? 4 backs, all of whom average better than 5 yards per carry. In the case of Mays, better than 6 yards per carry.
Yeah, and then the minute you start to key on the running game and you take on the blockers and you're fighting to control, then all of a sudden here comes Ingle Martin coming out on the corner on a naked bootleg or with a lead blocker, not a naked boot, or an option. Now, they've only run 1 option today, but we will see that during the day sometime. that Martin comes down and runs the option, and then we'll see the play action pass off the option, which they hope to score touchdowns on. So they've really got things going the way they want them now.
Big smile for Jerome Felton, who was briefly knocked out of the game. But big runs by him and by Gibson, who was also knocked out for a play or two on that scoring drive.
Well, we can sure see why these games have turned out to be 1-point margins between these two teams up here, and they've been almost as close down at Furman.
If this score holds, it would be the 4th straight Furman at Appalachian State game to be won by 1 point by the Mountaineers.
Well, I don't bet on football, but if I did, I would bet you that this will not be the
right
final
there
score.
with you on that. You're speaking in theoretical terms only. As Beckler kicks, and it'll be Turner from the 7. The 1AA semifinal for the right to meet Northern Iowa for the national championship. Furman has won it 1 time. Only private school ever to do so. That was back in '88. Appalachian State in its 3rd semifinal. They've never won at this stage, and they've never moved to the championship game. The Paladins here for the 6th time. Biggest game in the history of Appalachian State football by a margin of 92% of the voters to a website that posed that question this week. Starting quarterback, Southern Conference Offensive Player of the Year, Richie Williams, knocked out of the game, will not return. And his backup, Trey Elder, has kept the Williams pace going. There, I don't think, has been any play out there that Williams would have made that Elder hasn't made, Bill, to this point. Richie Williams will limp across the stage today and take his diploma. He'll get his degree in graphic arts and imaging technology. This is the play that knocked him out for the game. He got leg whipped at the end of that, will not return. Elder, though, continues to move the ball regardless, and Brandon Turner with the catch, brought down by Shelton Riley. The ankle injury preventing the return by Williams, who owns all the school and conference records for both total offense and passing touchdowns. The school record for passing yards, and he was within shouting distance of the conference record for passing yards had he played the complete game today. Kevin Richardson, who's got 2 touchdown runs already on 3rd and 2, takes it all the way to the 45, dragging William Freeman. And plenty of time for Appalachian State to add to the 1-point lead.
What's starting to happen now, and we saw it as Appalachian approached the goal line on their last touchdown drive. Furman starting to change up their defenses and give him some things he hasn't seen and try to confuse him a bit.
Again to give in the spread offense to Kevin Richardson in the Furman territory to the 47, where the defensive end Wallace Artis makes the stop.
But it doesn't matter what they do to confuse the young quarterback if they can't stop the running game. And right now, Richardson's got it motoring. Those big guys up front, Scott Suttle, Robertson, Brown, doing a nice job in the middle of that line, along with their tackles Eisenhower and Oliver.
13 carries, 61 yards in the 2 scores for Richardson. Fake to him this time, and Elder will go deep, wide open. Zach Johnson, fumble. Furman recovers. William Freeman, who is still on his feet, and finally dragged down by William Mayfield at the 40. A return of 20 yards by William Freeman. Maurice Duncan knocking it loose from Zach Johnson.
Tremendous hit by Maurice Duncan here. The normally reliable Zach Johnson, one of the best handsmen on the team. Nice catch. He's got the ball put away, but the helmet goes right on the football. Furman obviously has been coached up on getting turnovers, and then William Duncan is going to show us his running ability, give him a leg, and take it away. William must have been a tailback in high school.
It was William Freeman who blocked what would have been the tying field goal on the final play of the first meeting. A 34-31 Furman win. He also had 11 tackles. Swing pass. Derek Carter for 5. Furman, as we just showed you, all 3 of their timeouts, and should use one here with 29 seconds. First of 3 for the Paladins.
Good job of 4 across zone that time. The deep coverage by Appalachian State, forcing the little swing pass for a 2nd 5.
Let's see what Dave Revson has in store for us at halftime in the studio. Dave?
All right, Dave, we're going to get you updated on the Division III playoffs at halftime, some college hoops as well, and of course we will talk Heisman, gentlemen.
Hey, who'd you vote for? Well, I voted for Reggie Bush, but that's not the point. Hey, Coach Curry, what about the skill position bias against the offensive line? Greg Esslinger, the center from Minnesota, won the Outland Trophy. He's not in New York City. What's the deal?
Between May,
the skill positions are the offensive linemen, because that's what we're the ones that have to practice the hardest. That's what the skill positions are. The Mark Mays of this world should have been Heisman Trophy winner, no question. Esslinger's a very worthy candidate. They'll never pay any attention to us, though, Mark.
The most loaded question in the history of sports television.
Yeah,
right
Don in the peanut gallery. Jim Donovan's sitting there. He was a quarterback, so he's got a very objective view of it.
After the timeout, 2nd and 5. Martin slings it for Rust, and Rust knocked out at the 43 with a 1st down, a gain of 12, 23.5 seconds.
Very important in zone coverage, just to understand how these drives happen. They do not allow the deep throws, but when the little swings are thrown, you got to tackle them for less than an 11-yard gain. You see that concern on Jerry Moore's face. That's one of the problems. Linebackers and corners that are up in hard positions in cover 2 have got to tackle for less than 11-yard gains on those swing passes.
Beckler's longest field goal this year is 43, so they got a ways to go still. As Derek Carter takes this one to the 31 and stops the clock after a gain of again 12 yards at 16 seconds. Knocked out by Zod Kelly, the middle linebacker. So from right here, 31, they'd still be looking at 48 yards, and that is out of the range of Beckler.
Yeah, Rose right there, the corner, number 18, the left corner, loses containment. So they got a little screen pass here. Both teams execute the screen well. He bounces to the outside, and contain is not. That's Monty Smith, 38, who should have kept contain and forced him back inside.
They really need to get this to the 16. And that's to the 25, caught by Grant Brigham.
Look at that. Excuse me for interrupting, but I got excited.
I completely understand.
That is athleticism. Running to one's left, Ingle Martin squares his shoulders on the dead run and throws that thing like it's shot out of a cannon. Grant Brigham brings it in. That's beautiful execution.
Well, we just seen today how good Chris Leak really is to have won that job from Ingle Martin.
I think Chris Leak is just real glad that Ingle is at Furman.
Time for one play to set up the field goal try, or now they're within range of a shot in the end zone. We'll see what Martin has in mind. It's Rust. We said they need to get to the 16 to equal Beckler's longest field goal of the year. That's right where Touchstone knocks him out with 5 seconds. Now keep in mind, Beckler's been slumping. He has a missed field goal and a missed extra point today. He's missed 6 of his last 7 field goal tries, but here he comes.
Well, he's in a, as we said the last time, tough from the right hash, easier from the left hash for a right-footed kicker. This is an easier angle for a right-footed kicker. He should make this.
Snap a little bit high. Kick is good. Started to drift right, but kept it in with 1.8 seconds remaining in the half, and Furman takes its first lead at 23-21. So they march after the William Freeman fumble return. The completion and the fumble by Zach Johnson, allowing the Paladins to have the last possession of the half.
When you have a young quarterback that gets thrown into the action like this and he makes a mistake, coughs it up. What you can't have is to have the veteran players start to cough it up too. And even though it was a contact fumble and a very good hit by Duncan, Zach Johnson and his buddies must hang on to the ball and give the young Trey Elder a chance to keep his record intact. Though he did not start this game and he's never started a losing game, they don't want him to begin a different trend this week.
Trey Elder, after coming in for the injured Williams, has hit 7 out of 8 for 97 yards and a touchdown. He has rushed 6 times for 50 yards. If you put those numbers behind Williams in the stat sheet, no one would blink an eye. That's about what they'd expect.
You wouldn't know who it was. I mean, you wouldn't know there was anybody different. He also had that nice throw and catch. Zach Johnson coughed up, and they were heading in to score again, possibly.
Beckler with the squib, and they'll have 1.2 seconds to either take a knee or maybe surprise us and heave it in Hail Mary fashion to try and regain the lead into the locker room.
I always thought if you got a situation like this and if you have good protection, you have a good scheme where the quarterback can sort of dash and get on the corner without people in his face, and 3 big guys running down the field, you ought to put it up and see if you can just get a cheap score and get lucky. A lot of people take a knee here, but I'd say take a shot.
If they take a shot, the man to watch goes wide right. William Mayfield, their biggest target at 6'2". I'd like to get him deep against 5'8", 5'9" corners. Nope. They'll settle for trailing by 2 at halftime. So Furman battles back. Down by 8. They score the last 10 points of the half. Beckler's giving them the lead on the late field goal. 23-21. Winner advances to take on Northern Iowa for the 1AA National Championship. Let's join Dave Repson and company in the studio.
Okay, Dave, thank you very much. So the Paladins 30 minutes away from winning in Boone for the first time since 1996. But obviously, as Dave said, a little bit more importantly, making it to that 1AA championship game that you know so well, Jim.
I guarantee you the last 2 days, great college football watching this 1AA championship. These guys are really playing with a lot of authority and tremendous skill, and goes to show you we need a playoff, man.
I'll tell you, big hits, not only a playoff, just think if the 1A level would have a playoff system. The big hits, as physical as this game is today, you're seeing guys laying the lumber all over the field, and it's exciting. You look at last night's game, goes to overtime. Today's game, it's close at halftime. These players are laying it on the line. It's great football.
And this is a great rivalry. These two teams, of course, in the same conference. Last 6 games decided by a total of 15 points between these two, so you know it'll be good in the second half. But coming up at halftime, we will get you ready for the Heisman Trophy. Make the arguments for and against Reggie Bush. Against, kind of a toughie, but we'll try it. And ice.
No.
That's a shock in Wisconsin Whitewater. Last night, the other 1AA semifinal. Buck 32 to go. Northern Iowa down 8. David Horn, the Nebraska transfer, takes it in against Texas State. Still down by 2, though. Eric Sanders, who threw for 417 on the 2-point conversion. It's Justin Cernsey. And then, guys, Texas State decides to just down the ball.
And with all of the timeouts left, Coach, I don't think this was a brilliant move by the head coach of Texas State.
Well, I don't think the players enjoyed it either. Anyway, you look at this guy right here. What are you doing, Coach?
They're aghast. In the overtime, Texas State down by 3, and it ends up coming back to haunt them as Barrick Neely's picked off by Matt Tharp, and Northern Iowa headed to the 1AA championship game for the first time in school history.
Furman by 2 as we prepare to start the second half. 23-21. Back here in Boone, Dave Barnett, Bill Curry, and Janine Edwards, and there's a lot of mental tests involved in that first half. Furman having to come from behind, Appalachian State having to do without Richie Williams.
That's right. Richie Williams goes out, and the young quarterback comes in and does a nice job, but the 2 turnovers were key. Furman had 6 yards in the first quarter, 222 in the second quarter. They got 10 points off the 2 turnovers, and you can't really call it a halftime adjustment, but you got to stop the turnovers. Here's the play. that we lost the quarterback. Richie Williams made a nice play, one of his characteristic runs, and he gets leg whipped in the process, and he goes out.
One of 2 Felton touchdowns. Martin has been really at most times spectacular. No time more so than that leaping touchdown. Also throwing for 157 yards. Game Track brought to you by Coca-Cola. Julian Roush will kick off to William Middleton, and the Paladins will get the ball to begin the second half. Middleton from his goal line. He almost stumbled before starting this return of 25 yards. And the first half numbers are just about dead even. The characteristic balance, we said these were 2 of the most balanced offenses at any level in college football. You can't see a better illustration than right there. 307 to 303 in total yardage. 1 touchdown advantage to go with that 4-yard advantage for the Paladins. Both outstanding on third down conversions. 2 turnovers, 2 William Freeman fumble recoveries.
That's the biggie.
Leading to, as it turned out, the go-ahead points. Cedric Gibson upended after a short gain at the 27-yard line. Jeremy Wiggins, their leading tackler. 117 coming into today. Today's coaching adjustments brought to you by Home Depot.
Jerome Felton has got to get 20-plus carries. He's just such a big threat. That was the game plan. He had 9 in the first half, so they're pretty much on track there. Appalachian State needs to not limit turnovers, but stop the turnovers. They just got to do that. And one other thing that I would add, and that's tackling. They seem to have come out with a little more resolve in tackling to begin the second half.
Martin on play action. Incomplete for Jerome Felton. And it'll be 3rd and 8.
The first evidence we've seen of any sort of human frailty in Ingle Martin. He got happy feet. He got rid of the ball too quickly. He did not have to throw it. He still had good protection.
Jason Hunter made his presence known a couple times. One bone-crushing hit. We really haven't seen that much out of Marcus Morrell yet today.
Well, but Hunter also missed a tackle on Carter. Cedric Carter went down the sideline on him when he should have had him hemmed up for a short gain.
Defensive ends who have combined for 31 sacks and 40 tackles for loss. Intercepted by Corey Lynch. Intended for the tight end Russ. And Furman with its first turnover.
Okay, a change in defensive strategy, and a very wise one on the part of Appalachian State. They're coming after Ingle Martin now. They're counting on him making a mistake, and he does precisely what they had hoped. Zod Kelly, Monty Smith in his face. He throws it, lofts it behind his receiver. Corey Lynch comes down with the football, and now Appalachian State has a chance to convert a turnover. The first turnover by Furman in this game.
Lynch with his 6th interception of the year. Sophomore, Cape Coral, Florida. Trey Elder and the offense taking over at the 39 of the Paladins. Elder looking short right and has to throw that one away.
Now, Elder is very lucky, and you see the Furman coaches are out on the field yelling and screaming. Ravenel was the guy forcing Elder there, and Elder threw the ball on the ground, but he threw it behind the line of scrimmage, and he could have been flagged for intentional grounding there.
Should have been. That was a good 3 or 4 yards behind the line. I think he was outside the tackle box, but pass didn't travel to the line. Richie Williams knocked out in the first quarter. Ankle injury, done for the day. He will graduate later tonight, but he told us yesterday he was most looking forward to the game today and a chance to put his team into their first ever national championship game. Brandon Turner knocked down by Maurice Duncan.
Now, that was a really nice job of Elder of executing the option. Unfortunately, Maurice Duncan beat the stuffings out of Dexter Jackson and made the tackle. Dexter's supposed to block him. Had he blocked him, they had a nice play going. This time, and this is where you see a young man grow up, Elder did a better job of executing the option there than he did previously.
One clarification on Richie Williams. I think the reason he said he was looking more forward to the game than the graduation was because he's known for some time he was going to graduate.
Oh, yeah.
That was a given. This is the biggest game in school history. Not that he isn't looking forward to getting the sheepskin. Elder fumbles as he goes out of bounds, and they'll mark him out at the original line of scrimmage, the 39 where Lynch made the interception, knocked out by Artis.
Okay, both defenses pulling out all the stops. No pretense about just a normal rush or playing the option or playing responsibility. Ravenel's coming right up the pipe on a tackle end stunt. They did it on both sides, both defensive ends coming up the pipe. Wallace Artis on the other side. And the Appalachian State offensive line was not up to the task to protect.
They're going to go for it on 4th and 10.
4-down territory in the mind of Jerry Moore and his coaching staff. If you punt the ball in the end zone, you only gain 20 yards. That's the reasoning. That's the logic here.
And Rauch's longest field goal of the year is 39 yards. They're nowhere near his range.
Well, they're going to get tremendous pressure here. The offensive line for Appalachian State did a marvelous job of pass protection until Furman began to stunt. They're showing blitz.
Mountaineers may have as many as 3 different plays when they come to the line. They'll quick kick, and Elder does not get the bounce he hoped for and on into the end zone.
A left-footed quick kicker. We knew that Williams could kick, that they would pooch punt. We did not know that Elder had the same capacity, but now we do.
So after the interception, they do not move a yard, and it remains Furman by 2. That's the Curry Mountain Chalet, isn't it?
That's one of them. That's just one of them.
Best seat in the house.
The one in Switzerland's not as small.
That's what I hear. When am I going to get invited? Is that a spectacular view from up there looking down on Kid Brewer Stadium?
So beautiful around here. It really is.
This has become kind of Aspen East. Don Shula, Bob Greasy, Michael Jordan all have homes in this area near a ski resort.
They do. And we're about 2.5 hours west of here.
Felton on the carry. Let's find out what Janine found out from the coaches at halftime.
Well, Dave, I did spoke to both Bobby Lamb and Jerry Moore. Bobby Lamb told me we must put pressure on the Appalachian quarterback. We're going to try and strip the ball from him, especially trying to get him to run, and I'll continue after the play.
On 2nd and 7, Martin out of the gun. Will again hand to Felton for no gain. Janine?
And Jerry Moore told me he thinks Trey Elder's playing very well. Of course, a blow to lose Richie Williams. He does say that Trey has stepped up. He said we cannot afford another turnover. He said Furman is showing their versatility, especially on 3rd down. He said they're surprising us. We cannot let them get any more critical 3rd down conversions.
Well, 3rd and 5 here.
Here we are. Very good report and accurate, Janine.
51% for the year for the Furman offense converting on 3rd down. Martin again rolling left, keeping has it, and about 5 more. Tripped up by Jason Hunter, who's been more active as this game has worn on. A gain of 11 for Ingle Martin.
It's really remarkable when you know how fast Jason Hunter is, and he's a guy that the NFL scouts are very interested in. He can really run. Martin just outruns him here. Martin, had he picked his feet up, might have run a lot farther. Jason lunges and gets a piece of his heel, and that's all.
Paladins on their 36. Gibson. That is a little better than their 1st down goal. The reason that they think they can convert more than half their 3rd downs is because they want to average at least 4 yards on 1st down, and in this case they get 5.
Well, if their 1st down efficiency is going just like this, then Appalachian State's going to have a very hard time in the 2nd half because they're going to do exactly what they want to. We're going to keep saying this. We're repeating it, but it is a fact. This is how Furman beats people, handing it to big guys like Felton.
Fake to Felton, option pitch. Gibson turns it up, 1st down midfield, where he's met by Wiggins.
That's exactly what I meant when I said Ingle Martin has learned to execute difficult options. That was a trap option. Earlier we saw him with a down the line option with a reverse out. Now you're keying on Felton. Here's a trap option. The linebacker step up to meet Felton, and you're out on the corner pitching the ball to the fleet tailback, Cedric Gibson, and he runs for another first down.
Derek Carter, Brandon Mays, Cedric Gibson. Three-man tailback committee. 7 carries, 37 yards for Gibson, who fights Brad West for maybe 2 here. Felton, 11 carries for 65. Carter, 3 for 56, along with 48, and Mays has only carried it once for a yard.
Appalachian State must tackle better in the second half than they did the second quarter. They gave up 222 yards and 23 points in the second quarter alone to this Furman team. And Furman's coming right back out and establishing the things they want to do again in the second half.
They led the Southern Conference in sacks this year. Having a hard time getting to Martin. Morrell got to him, but the ball was already delivered incomplete deep for Carter. With coverage from both safeties down there, Wiggins and Lynch. 3rd and long coming.
Marcus Morrell, the other outstanding defensive end. Actually, he's won more honors as a candidate for national honors, more so than his colleague Jason Hunter, but they're both terrific players and a big concern of Furman. I'm a little surprised that Furman went for it on 2nd and 9 there and went deep. Now they got a 3rd and 9. Appalachian with a chance to get them stopped.
Step in motion. Martin shotgun. Screen for Carter. 2 blockers out front. Carter turns it back up. Derek Carter knocked out of bounds inside the 10. 1st and goal, Furman. Monte Smith prevented a touchdown. 41 yards.
Yeah, excuse me, Dave, but Brad West has got to be sick. Number 33, the Will backer, who plays so well. Virtually all, he's got him right there, and he gets stiff-armed. A beautiful job of stiff-arming by Carter. And Carter down the sideline until he's knocked out of bounds down deep.
Coming back, though. Furman's going to be called for a hold. It's been a really penalty-free game. Furman's only had 2 for 10 yards. Appalachian State just 1 for 5.
Illegal block in the back. 86 offense. 10-yard penalty. Still made first down.
And now 2 of the 3 Furman penalties have been on the second tight end, Brad Bell.
Brad Bell's a guy that hustles and runs around and knocks people around. And when you do that, every now and then you make a mistake. And once he moved early, and that time he gets called for a block in the back. And there's a difference in that in clipping because that's above the waist.
So it'll move it back. It doesn't wipe the whole thing out. It moves it back from what was going to be 1st and goal at around the 7 to 1st and 10 at the 19. Felton for about 3. Jerome Felton, as Janine Edwards reported in the first half, professionally trained scuba diver and rescue specialist. He took the ACT test in 7th grade. He completed 19 college-level hours between 7th and 11th grade. Had a little bit of an academic head start. Recruited by Duke, could play anywhere in Division I. Could obviously be a star student anywhere in Division I as well.
Well, Furman's a very good school.
Now it's 1st and goal inside the 5. Gibson with another strong burst, a gain of 11.
And the Appalachian State defense that's been so stout in the red zone this year, only giving up 53% touchdowns when people have gotten in the red zone area against them. They're just being ripped down here. Furman scoring touchdowns every time they get down in this area. Part of it is because of the big guy Felton, but part of it is because he's also a good decoy when they take him and go misdirection and hand it to the tailback.
Bell back in and the 2 tight end set. Double wing give to the only back. Felton met immediately by Pierre Banks. who backs up Brad West at weak side linebacker. Gain of a foot or two. Remarkable story. Jerome Felton, academically identified as a star early on, and was offered a chance to enroll at Hiwassee College, still in junior high. Probably big enough that he would have fit right in had he taken him up on that. Other than the 3-point GPA, tremendous running back as well. Gibson got to about the 2.5, where it will be 3rd and goal, met again by Banks.
It would be a huge thing for morale purposes and for momentum for Appalachian to get a stop down here and force the field goal attempt. Very difficult to contain these big backs behind the big offensive line. They've been knocking you around ever since the start of the second quarter.
Appalachian State got it on an interception from Corey Lynch, did not move a yard. Here's 3rd and goal. Martin slips. He was going to walk in. He faked to Felton. The defense all taking the fake. Nobody had any idea Ingle Martin still had it. And he slipped it about the 1 and comes up limping.
There are patches of ice on that field. It really is hard to believe because it has warmed up into the 40s today. But watch him here. His foot just goes out from under him, and that is either a very slick, wet area or still icy.
They are going to go for it. 4th and goal at the 1. Felton, no chance.
What a great job by big Jason Hunter. Pierre Banks and Jason Hunter in the backfield. That's the only way to stop a guy like Felton. With his leg drive and his capacity to get his head and pads down, you got to hit him in the backfield, and that's exactly what happens.
Best on best right there, and Hunter wins the battle.
NCAA Championships on ESPN. The Division I AA football semifinals are brought to you by Suzuki. Introducing the all-new Grand Vitara, the authentic SUV.
The 1AA semifinal. Appalachian State, the home team, in Boone, North Carolina. In the mountains of the western part of the state, they put on a tremendous goal line stand to stay within 2. And they take over at their own 3. Trey Elder in the shotgun from his own end zone. The handoff to Richardson, who shows good balance to keep it for about 3 up to the 6.
Dave, once in a great while, Scott Suttle, the fine offensive center, number 66, has a bad gun snap. It gets away from him and it shoots up over the quarterback's head. And every time I see a quarterback standing in the end zone, his own end zone, in the gun, I get nervous and think about snaps like that. I just don't know if I could call a play like this. So Appalachian State would hope that Scott would control these snaps as he has so well all game.
Throwing from his own end zone and incomplete at the 20-yard line.
Very important to get a little breathing room for Appalachian State. You don't want to punt from where they are now because you can't get your full punt protection depth with your punter. You need to have that thing out a little bit farther. You don't want the punter standing with his heels on the end line.
Over 300 total yards in the first half, 3 total yards in the third quarter for the Mountaineers. Elder again from his own end zone. Perfectly timed, incomplete, intended for Jackson. Austin Holmes coming up from behind to knock that one away.
Roy Ravenel is sort of quietly having a terrific game. Number 56 coming off the edge right in the quarterback's face. And again, the stunting, the assumption that the ball is going to be thrown by Furman's defense. They're getting pressure on the quarterback almost every snap now.
Matt Dodge is 8 yards deep in his own end zone. Gets off a rather short wobbler, needs a good bounce, gets it. Gets a tremendous bounce, and this will roll out to the 44-yard line. A 50-yard kick. Furman still 23-21, 5:19 in the third. Furman by 2. Richie Williams out since the first quarter. He is with Janine Edwards.
We're going to go tomorrow after I get a look.
I'm here with quarterback Richie Williams, who, of course, has come out of the game with an ankle injury. They think he has a ruptured tendon or ligament in his ankle. He's under evaluation. Richie, what is this like for you to be on the sidelines in what was going to be the biggest game of your college career?
It's nerve-wracking. You know, I want to be out there helping my teammates win this game. And, you know, I just feel bad that I can't go out there and help him, man. But I got faith in Trey. Trey, real good backup, man. He's going to lead this team to a victory today.
How would you rate his performance thus far?
Oh, yeah, you gotta give him an A right now. It's, considering the circumstances, you can't ask for much more.
Sorry about your injury. We'll let you get back to the game.
All right,
thanks, Richie.
Thank you.
Well, we just have to hope that they're wrong with those initial estimations of his injury, because if Appalachian State wins this, obviously they've got Northern Iowa still to go in the national championship game, and if there is any chance at all Richie Williams could go, that's a victory for football fans. He is so entertaining to watch. Martin overthrows an open Justin Stepp.
And Martin got exactly what he wanted. Appalachian State has committed to stopping the run, and to do that, they're bringing a safety up in the box, which means they're in man-to-man coverage. That's what the quarterback just loves to see. Ingle Martin can't wait to see that man coverage, but it was good, and he had to throw the ball over his receiver.
And he's just 1 for 5 so far here in the second half.
I mean, they've been doing a nice job, but they're going to keep going deep when they're getting this man coverage with play action.
If those initial prognoses are correct, and here comes another Mountaineer limping off, Justin Wozay, the starting corner. If it is a rupture in that ankle, no way he can play next week, right?
Oh, no.
Well, tonight we will finally find out who wins the Heisman. Will it be Matt Leinart for the second straight year? Second two-time winner ever? Will it be his USC teammate Reggie Bush, or will it be Vince Young of Texas becoming the third Longhorn to win the Heisman? The Heisman Trophy presentation presented by Capital One on ESPN, 8 Eastern tonight, followed by Code Breakers.
Now, my fervent desire would be that there would be co-winners this year with Young and Bush, but it's not going to happen. I think it's going to be Reggie.
They'd like Richie to win it here.
Well, you could argue for that, too. Yep. 9,160 yards, 81 touchdowns in his career.
Reggie Bush with a pretty strong resume, especially the last 2 or 3 weeks of his season. Here's 2nd and 10 for Martin. Derek Carter to the 48. Zod Kelly and again Jason Hunter on the stop.
Jason Hunter with what we have unofficially as 8 tackles now on the day. He's missed a couple of key tackles, as we pointed out, but he's the kind of player that can dominate, and he certainly did that in the goal line stand along with the ice patch that caused Ingle Martin to fall.
Appalachian State thus needing to win in the semifinals today with their backup quarterback, and it appears if they do that, play for the national championship next week with their backup quarterback, as Martin is chased down and knocked out at midfield. Wiggins and Hunter. Jason, after a little bit of a slow start, not that evident in the first quarter, now in on just about every tackle.
And what did we see about his angle that time? The previous time, the first time he chased Ingle Martin, he did not anticipate Martin's speed. This time he did. He took a proper angle, and rather than catching him by the heel while Martin runs for a first down, he caught him and got him tackled before he had a chance to turn it up to make the first.
Looks for a quick kick maybe here?
Yeah, pooch kick.
Martin, the quarterback slash punter for Furman. Snap over his head, and he will still get the kick off. Wherever this goes, it's miraculous, because it wasn't a disaster.
Well, we talked about Scott Suttle, the other center. We did not mention Corey Stewart because frankly, I hadn't seen Corey Stewart have a snap like that. And it came at a very propitious time because Ingle Martin was able to run, grab it, and still get the kick away.
Thanks to a very fortuitous hop.
Yeah, that was a nice bounce.
Ingle Martin, with a snap from Stewart, kicked a 56-yard field goal in high school to win a game at the gun. He's been lobbying for them to try a drop kick, and his field goal drop kick range is about 50. There's really very little he can't do on a football field. Elder back to work. After the play fake, a strike. Mayfield is wrestled out by Duncan with a first down to the 43, a gain of 13. And Appalachian State, Bill, now needs to move it because they've done absolutely none of that here in the second half.
That's right. And every time Furman goes with a straight four-man rush, they get no pressure, and they allow Elder to stand back there and do what he likes to do. So I don't think we're going to see much of that. We're going to see a lot of stunting and blitzing, and they're going to have to take some chances to try to get to him. They had good success in the second and third quarter.
Option pitch for Richardson. Strung out expertly and dragged down by William Freeman, who has 2 fumble recoveries for his afternoon. For a preview of the national championship game, visit NCAAsports.com, the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships.
More bad news for Appalachian State. Kevin Richardson coming up lame now, noticeably limping, probably needs to come out. They're leaving him out. That's one of those where you hold your hand up and the coach waves at you. Coach. I'm not looking at him. Leave him out there.
Winner here takes on Northern Iowa Friday 8 Eastern here on ESPN2. Northern Iowa 40-37 in overtime over Texas State last night. Up to the 47, Elder. Northern Iowa winning at the Bearcats' home field in San Marcos, making their first appearance ever in the 1AA championship game. Appalachian State trying to do the same. Furman has won this championship once back in 1988. Whoever Northern Iowa plays, they will be in a first-time ever meeting against either of these two next Friday. 6th semifinal for the Paladins, the 3rd for the Mountaineers. Elder throw on the run, perfect strike. That's to Jackson. Another 3rd down converted, knocked out by Austin Holmes, but a gain of 12.
Furman's gone back to their zone thinking and their straight 4-3 defense. That's exactly what Trey Elder is comfortable with. He is not as comfortable when he's got people in his face and stunting and people coming up and hitting him as he throws the football.
So the Mountaineers do in fact move the ball. And they've reached the Paladin 40-yard line inside 2 minutes in the 3rd quarter. Richardson. Right into the arms of Roy Ravenel, the defensive end.
That's exactly what I was talking about, and you don't have to be very smart to figure it out. They have to do it. Ravenel stunted down inside hard. You see him coming from the top, the right side of your screen. The tackle, Fambro, loops back outside, but Ravenel's making the play. There's no blocker for him when he hits that gap like that. So now Furman's got what they want in the field position game with a 2nd and 10.
Only 56 players by rule can dress for this 1AA championship. Elder keeping first down. The 2nd quarterback to play for Appalachian State. Williams knocked out in the 1st quarter. A couple of Furman offensive stars have limped out as well, so there is much less depth to call on than in Division 1A football.
Nice job there. Ravenel with the same kind of stunt is cut with a legal block, and he's knocked on the ground. So there's a nice hole with good blocking on Gary Nelson by John Holt there, number 67.
Final minute of the 3rd. Drive has reached the 29. Richardson breaking tackles. And finally, Gary Nelson knocks it free after the play had been whistled dead at the 26.
Football is the ultimate team sport. Everybody feeds off each other. It's the only sport in which you need every teammate on every play just to survive in the game. And what's happened is with that defensive stand, the defense has given life to the offense. The offense is out here blocking better, moving the ball better, and it's a better football game for Appalachian at this point.
No points in the third quarter. We'll go to the fourth. Furman 23, Appalachian State 21.
And no points in the third quarter is a victory for Appalachian State under the circumstances.
Ingle Martin was going to go in for a touchdown, slipped at the 1. That's why it's still a 2-point game. Just a spectacular Saturday afternoon here in the Appalachians. The sun just about to drop behind the hills, and the game to match. 23-21, Ingle Martin watching as the Appalachian State offense has a 2nd down and 7 at the 26-yard line of Furman. Elder moving the Mountaineers smartly down the field as possession. Turner has yardage after the catch, 1st down to the 18. And our game track brought to you by Coca-Cola. First quarter, Richie Williams showing some of his spectacular abilities, but knocked down with the possible ruptured ligament in his ankle. Martin about to go in untouched, slipped at the 1, and then Felton stuffed on 4th down. That's why no one scored in the third.
Yeah, even though Furman outgained Appalachian by 94-43 in the third quarter, they could not get it in the end zone when they had to. Appalachian wants to keep Ingle Martin right over there where he is.
Elder faking, keeping, slips through for about 5.
And here's another thing we're seeing now, Dave, and that's some rhythm from the Appalachian State offense. Yes, Elder's a good kid. He's a good player. He's made some nice plays, but they had no rhythm until we got here close to the fourth quarter. Now they're starting to look like an offense that's in sync.
Jerry Moore, when he took this job, 1989, he said the first thing they did was study every Furman game on tape they could. He said everything we did was predicated on figuring out a way to beat Furman, which at that time was defending its 1988 1AA National Championship. Now a chance to play them head-to-head for a chance to go to the national championship game as Richardson makes it 1st and goal at the 6.
Now, if you were watching this game carefully, you noticed Brandon Turner out there, 14, gesturing to the bench to hurry up, get the play into the young quarterback. Trey Elder was totally poised, but the 25-second clock went down to 1 second. And when you're using a silent count, as Appalachian does, and the center snaps it on his own volition, that's very dangerous. They need to get the plays in a little quicker than they have been.
1st down, goal to go as the Mountaineers look to regain the lead as Richardson hit immediately by Ravenel. Boy, Ravenel having almost as busy an afternoon as Jason Hunter has for Appalachian State at defensive end.
Now, red zone defense by Furman, they've given up almost 70% touchdowns when other teams have gotten in this area. Appalachian State scored touchdowns only 62% of the time down here, so the percentage thing is pretty much even in terms of how they function in these pressure situations offensively and defensively.
2nd and goal to the end zone and broken up. Austin Holmes got a hand on it, going over the back of William Mayfield. Fans are screaming for a flag, but Holmes has already proven today he has that timing down. He has twice made that play without interfering.
Austin Holmes has had a very good game. Sophomore out of Jacksonville. Might have been a little bit early there. The fans may have a point. They usually are going to boo no matter what. But he might have been just a shade early on that one.
Play clock's down to 6, and they're not even lined up yet. They're going to have to burn a timeout. 3rd and goal coming from just outside the 5-yard line. Appalachian State, which led for most of the first half, trying to regain that lead when we come back to Boone, North Carolina. Appalachian State's had a chance to talk it over. 3rd and goal coming from the 5, trailing 23-21 in his 1AA semifinal. 2 minutes gone in the fourth quarter. Bobby Lamb looks on. Trey Elder looking to the sideline for the play. And looking right, trying to run left, fumbles. And Furman, I think, hopped on that at the 7th. This would be their 3rd fumble recovery. They've got it.
These are the things that happen to young quarterbacks, inexperienced, and they come up the worst possible times. He runs into his own man, Grant Oliver. The ball is not put away. Receivers all covered. Oliver's sort of knocked into the backfield, and he's not expecting the quarterback to come his way. But it's really not his fault. He's working on his pass protection. Coach Lamb has to love it. Wallace Artist, number 58, comes up with the football. And so Appalachian's bid to regain the lead disappears in yet another turnover. And Coach Jerry Moore was just right. They could not afford that. That could very well cost them the football game, and that's another obvious thing to say.
Not only not getting the touchdown, but not getting a shot at a chip shot field goal. And now here comes Felton.
You're exactly right, Dave. And then to let them rip it off the goal line like that with Felton almost popping that thing. When you make a first down coming off the goal line, you change field position. The instant you make that first down, the defense could have kept them down in there. Then they got a good chance to get field position again. Not so now. And they need to get lined up, too.
Felton again. On 2nd and 1, he gets about 4. ESPN Original Entertainment presents Codebreakers, an ESPN original movie exploring the 1950 cheating scandal at Army. Scott Glenn stars as legendary coach Earl Red Blake. Codebreakers presented by K Jewelers, ESPN tonight at 9 Eastern. That's immediately following the Heisman Trophy presentation, and it will also be available in spectacular ESPN HD high definition. Furman has it up to the 20, where Felton takes the pitch. Boy, it doesn't take a whole lot for Jerome Felton to get ahead of steam, and then it does take a whole lot to bring him down, and he's got 10 more.
Well, when he can get leverage like that, the ball's tossed to him, he's got a running start, he's heading up the field, and he's got the big guys like Kivett and Rust and Covington in front of him, then it's really, I don't care who you are, it is hard to get your head across and bring him down. Back to that Codebreakers thing, that's one of the finest things of its kind that I've ever seen. People will really, really learn a lot and enjoy that.
Derek Carter, first down. So tune in tonight at 8 Eastern. Find out if it's going to be Vince Young, Matt Leinart, or Reggie Bush to win the Heisman, and then stick around for Codebreakers immediately following.
You think they would give it to Vince and Reggie together? Could they sort of give them each one, maybe?
Well, this has been kind of a historic race, and in many minds, that would make a historic ending.
That would make me very happy.
I think the only remaining argument for Vince Young is that he can do a lot of what Reggie Bush does, but he also can do a lot of what Matt Leinart does. He's the combination of those two. Carter on the pitch.
Well, he is, and it's just so hard to pick either one of them, and I just think it's a shame that all three of those kids are coming out the same year. It's been nice to have them different years, and they could each have one. Just look at their numbers, and they're all good people. They're all good leaders. When Reggie Bush showed off a little bit when he scored on Notre Dame, he immediately apologized. He said, well, that's not me. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have slowed down. I was not trying to ridicule Notre Dame in any way. I was just good people, in addition to being great players.
Vince Young's already said he's returning to Texas for his senior year. Lots of questions about Reggie Bush. Should he win tonight? Martin chased by Morrell. Throw on the run. What a catch at midfield. Brad Bell, who has had 2 critical penalties against him today, makes up for it here with an 18-yard grab. Blasted by Corey Lynch, but he hangs on for just his 6th catch of the year.
This is the second time, and only the second time, I've seen Ingle Martin lose his cool. He really didn't have to leave the pocket, but since he did, he once again shows us why he's such a marvelous player. He finds Brad Bell, and Brad Bell's so happy to take a shot from Corey Lynch so he can make up for a couple of his screw-ups. That's the 5th big hit we've seen from Corey Lynch.
So the march continues from the 50 back to Felton. Right through the arms of the 3 tacklers for 9. Finally, Pierre Banks captures Felton.
This time, Omar Byram, big number 95, 255-pound defensive tackle, finds out that the back is bigger than he is. That reminds me of the time when I was at Georgia Tech and we lined up against Herschel Walker. He was bigger than any defensive lineman we had.
And a little bit faster.
He ran 4.2, and our defensive lineman ran 5.2.
And you could hear him as he rushed by your bench.
Well, he just sort of went.
Felton on the inside give for the first down. And they've reached the 36 of Appalachian State.
Really nice play calling here by Furman. Tim Sorrells, the fine offensive coordinator. He's got the toss sweep working. They got the off tackle stuff. Then they hit you with the trap. They can come off the trap. Right here you see the pulling guard doesn't even have anybody to hit. Patrick Covington pulls. There's nobody home because there was a stun on the big old hole. Now you might see a little trap option. There it is.
Carter gets away from Morrell and is knocked out by Wozay. The surprising thing about neither team having scored this half is I think both teams have had a better offensive rhythm than they had in the first half.
They're executing well until they get close to the goal line, and we've seen 2 mistakes close to the goal line. Actually 3 if you count Furman's slip by the quarterback Ingle Martin and the penetration that they allowed Jason Hunter, and then at the other end the turnover by the young quarterback when Trey Elder ran into his own man.
Felton over 100 yards now on 19 carries, 104. Carter hit at the 30 where it'll be third and about 3.5.
Jim Donnan talking about 1AA football, and he coached at Marshall all those years when they were winning national championships. There is some hitting going on this field. This is great football. Mark May noticing as well, even though neither Mark nor I ever got to play at this level. Kind of makes you wish you could.
We asked both coaching staffs how they like the playoffs as opposed to the 1A system. We're glad 1AA does it differently. Bowing to the tradition of the Bulls, they say if 1A wanted to do this, they could. Felton will not get the first. Now is it 4-down territory. You'd have to think they'll think real hard about it.
Well, Ingle Martin saw the front, and he thought he might get the signal from the sideline to turn and give it. This is called the roll play, the old belly play with the fullback. But Monty Smith and Joe Suter whipped their blockers and got the big guy at the line of scrimmage, which is your only chance to get him stopped. For many years, that's the only play Bobby Bowden at Florida State ran in short yardage or goal line. So we may just see it again here. That's what I'm saying.
They didn't even think about it. Definitely going for it on 4th and 1. It's a surprise if Martin doesn't sneak or give it to Felton, and he was going to give it to Carter, but there was a flag and a whistle, and it's, I think, going to be 4th and 6 instead.
Wow, what a major, major error, if indeed that's what happens to be the case. And Bobby Lamb, a very unhappy citizen. Either somebody moved or there was a...
Left guard, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Left guard is Brian Lagus. And reading his lips, I think he was saying, I was trying to call timeout.
That's the second time today we've seen a Furman lineman move early. Last week, I repeat, Southern Illinois had the same problem in this stadium. This is well known to be the loudest stadium in the Southern Conference. And these people are loving it. Bobby wants to be credited with a timeout there. He's trying to get the referee. The referee's not even going to look at him.
First timeout for Furman. 4th and 6 coming with 7:13 to go. They lead 5-2. The 1AA semis.
Football, Dave.
All right. That should be a good one. This has been a great one. Furman by 2. They come out looking to convert a 4th down and 6. We're in the middle of the 4th quarter of the 1AA semifinal. Winner meets Northern Iowa for the national title Friday night at 8 Eastern. And they'll run the double reverse pass. Sprint throws this one up. incomplete. He was trying to throw it to Ingle Martin, who was open, but he couldn't even get it close.
First question to Bobby Lamb in our conference call: what do you fear the most? Those two defensive ends scare me to death. And I quote, Marcus Murrell, number 44, comes up with the biggest play of the game on Patrick Sprague, because if he doesn't make that pressure hit, that's a touchdown. It's a great play call, a gimmick play for just this kind of situation. But when you don't fool the fleet defensive end, you don't get it off.
It would have worked.
Oh, yes, it would have been 6.
Appalachian State takes over at their 33. 7:06 to play, down 2. And they start with Richardson on the run for about 8, down to Janine Edwards.
Well, Dave, you're right about Marcus Murrell and what Bobby Lamb said. He called him one of the best defensive ends in college football. Jerry Moore said he has great instincts and a great feel for the game, which must run in the Murrell family. His brother Adrian played 10 years in the NFL, and Marcus says he gets advice from his brother on blocking, covering the tight end, and his brother mostly taught him mental toughness.
Yeah, Adrian can tell Marcus what he used to not like as a running back that defensive ends did. Second down and 2. Adrian coached him up just a couple days before this 1AA semifinal. Elder deep, man open, caught at the 30. Brandon Turner.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something else. If he throws that ball about 5 yards farther, it is 6 points. He babied the throw. He sort of aimed it. Another small example of inexperience. His coaches will be very happy with the completion. Thank you very much. But had he thrown that ball down the field, he's got a chance for 6, because Brandon Turner was behind Shelton Riley, who has been all over the field today but got beat that time.
1st and 10, Mountaineers. Field goal range for Roush would be a snap coming from the 22-yard line based on his season-long kick. Elder will scramble and run out of room for a loss of 4 yards. Well, he was lucky a couple of series ago not to be called for grounding. That was a clear case where he should have just thrown it out of bounds rather than take the loss. 1AA semi. Furman and Appalachian State. Furman won the regular season meeting between these Southern Conference rivals 34-31. It came down to the last play, as this one may very well do again. Northern Iowa in overtime knocked off Texas State last night 40-37 in San Marcos, Texas. And at Friday, 8 Eastern kickoff on ESPN2 to decide the national title in 1AA. Roush preparing himself just in case he gets the chance to put ASU on top. Elder guns this one for Dexter Jackson, caught at the 25 by Holmes. And from there, it'll be 3rd and 4, gain of 11.
The previous play, Dave, was another busted play. And when I say another, there have been 3 or 4 since Elder got in the game where he turns to fake or hand the ball and there's no back there. Either he turned the wrong way or the call was not correctly communicated to him. And these are the little things that happen. We haven't had a chance to talk about it until now.
Roush's longest kick this year is 39. Based on that, they're not yet in field goal range. They'll run Richardson, who's going to come up short by a yard. Now you have a decision. Wow. Do you go for it on 4th and 1? Do you get Roush in there and have him try to equal the longest kick he's made?
Well, I think you go for it. I think when you've got this little distance to make the first down, you're not just making a statement to your team. You got 4th and inches. You got to go for the first down.
Which is what they will do, but first, they're going to call their second timeout. And when we come back, it'll be 4th and inches for the Mountaineers.
NCAA Championships on ESPN. The Division I AA football semifinals are brought to you by the Acura RL with super handling all-wheel drive. And Stouffer's. See what's cooking at Stouffer's.
The Convocation Center, where graduation was scheduled for 1 this afternoon. Richie Williams with his cap and gown ready in 3 hours. That ceremony will begin. He'll walk across the stage and get his diploma. Actually, he will crutch his way across the stage. Knocked out in the first quarter with a possible ruptured ligament in his ankle. On 4th and inches out of the gun, they give, and Richardson will have the first down with a yard to spare at the 20.
Richardson's a guy that does everything for this football team. He's the leading receiver. He's one of the best blockers they have, and now when the chips are down and the season's on the line with 4th and inches, they put it in the reliable hands of their sophomore tailback, Kevin Richardson.
From Elizabethtown, North Carolina. They call on him again for about 2. I asked him yesterday, where is Elizabethtown? He said, forget it. You've never heard of it. You can never find it.
I'll tell you what, William Freeman found him there, though, and you can see why William has been an All-American linebacker, and what an outstanding day he's had today. 2 fumble recoveries. We've only got him down for 4 tackles. My guess is he's been in on quite a few more than that. He's certainly all over the field. Number 49.
This is 2nd down and 8. Turner, moments ago, had the big catch, goes in motion. Richardson called on for the 3rd straight time. Down to the 12, where it'll be 3rd and 2.
There's an old saying among coaches that when you get to the nitty-gritty time and the chips are down, it's not about plays, it's about players. So you put the ball in the hands of your best playmakers, and that's why you're seeing Kevin Richardson handling the ball so much here. Jerry Moore's been coaching a long time. It's no accident he's the winningest coach in the Southern Conference.
Roush getting ready. He's the perfect 3 for 3 in the playoffs. This will be 3rd and 3. 4 straight Richardson. Kevin Richardson to the 1, and it's 1st and goal from there. A gain of 12. Jeremy Blocker and Shelton Riley prevent a go-ahead touchdown.
Scott Tuttle, Jeremy Robertson, Kerry Brown, Eisenhower, the right tackle, all the offensive linemen doing a great job moving their people, staying on their blocks, keeping their feet moving. That's the reason there was such a gaping hole for the elusive Kevin Richardson.
Great backs all seem to get better. The more carries they have, 4 straight times Kevin Richardson has been called on. He converted to 4th and short. 5th straight carry. Does he get in? No signal yet, and he did not. He came up inches shy.
Brandon Williams is another guy who's had a big day. That's the 6th hit we've got him down for, and it was nose to nose at the 1-inch line.
Bobby Lamb will call his 2nd timeout. Each team with 1 left, 2:21 left. Furman with a 2-point lead in grave jeopardy. Well, Notre Dame has touchdown Jesus. Appalachian State has touchdown Yosef. The mountain man, who is the official mascot here. After the Furman timeout, we're ready for 2nd and goal, inches away from their first lead of the 2nd half. 2 tight ends, and Elder sneaking in. Touchdown. Mountaineers lead.
And Dave, that is flat out 2nd effort, because he got stoned on his 1st effort. He kept those feet moving. We talked about running a quarterback sneak properly. Trey Elder knows how to run it, as well as Ingle Martin. You get those pads down and you keep those feet moving. If you dive, a lot of times you end up going backwards. And this is the right call, going for 2 here. Trying to make it a 6-point game.
Appalachian State, not sure they have their personnel straight as Zach Johnson races off the field. Going for 2 and a 6-point lead with 2:17 remaining in regulation.
Excuse me, David. They're calling plays here, and there are about 10 seconds left on the 25-second clock, so they still got time to get it snapped.
Elder's going to keep it and make it. But a flag down at the line of scrimmage. False start, no two-point conversion.
5-yard penalty. Replay the trot.
Now, do you still go for 2? I would think so. 5-point margin gets you nothing.
Well, I need to think about it because this is an unusual situation. It's not as obvious as putting it to a 7-point game or to an 8-point game. You're only going to 6. The old adage among coaches is putting it to 5 doesn't help you in any way. So a 6-point game, I would say you still go for 2. I have not been in this situation, to tell you the truth. The other thing for Furman to have considered was whether or not to let Appalachian score. And we were talking about that in the break. And I don't know how you do that with the defense. We have seen it before in order to leave more time on the clock, because remember, Ingle Martin and his offensive unit 4 times this year on the last drive have won games.
And they'll have a chance to do it on their 5th. Elder throwing for the 2-point conversion, and they still get it. Dexter Jackson. Elder sneaks for the lead and then throws for the 2-point conversion. William Mayfield made the catch to make it 29-23. Even backing up 5 yards, Elder is able to convert the 2-point conversion on the strike to William Mayfield. Forced into the role of head cheerleader, Richie Williams, doing everything he can, even though he's been out of uniform this entire second half, to help his Mountaineers on. They're up 29-23 as Roush kicks it to the goal line to William Middleton. And the Paladins will start 81 yards away. When we wrap it up here in Boone, North Carolina, basketball next, Michigan, South Florida.
Hey, Dave, guess who made the hit on the kickoff coverage? None other than our man Jason Hunter, number 97, jumped in there, covered the kickoff, and smashed the returner.
One timeout and 2 minutes and 11 seconds for Ingle Martin to work with. That is an eternity. And they start with a screen pass for Derek Carter, who will take it 17 yards.
I swear it looked like that ball was tipped. Did Murrell tip that ball?
Looked like he might have.
The ball changed its trajectory, which means that Derek Carter did a marvelous job to keep his concentration, catch it, and then run for 17 yards. And that's the kind of thing that could have been tipped up in the air. You think football's not a game of inches? That thing goes up in the air. Anything could happen.
Furman has lost on their last 3 trips here to Boone, all by 1 point. Now they have a chance to win by 1 and go to the national championship game. And they're looking for it right here. Deep ball for Sprague, almost intercepted.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Wose back there with Lynch and Wiggins, and it looked like Wose had a hand on it.
Ingle Martin just underthrew it by about 5 yards. He just didn't get it there, and there was nobody in his face until well after he threw. And he's got arm enough to have put it up and gotten it deep. And had he done that, there's a good chance he would have scored.
If they make it 5, they play Northern Iowa for the national title Friday night. 8 Eastern here on ESPN 2. Martin on 2nd and 10. Catch is made by Sprague, but about 2.5 yards shy. Wose had the coverage. 3rd down coming in the hurry-up offense under a minute and a half.
That was a nice throw, but that was a hard corner. Wose was up there as a hard corner in a cover 2, and you usually don't even throw that ball out there when he's in that tight of coverage.
Martin was again looking for Sprague. He's going to keep it. He's dragged down shy of the first by Arthur Orlebar. The biggest tackle of the game. Martin, who almost walked in for a touchdown, was a victim of self-tackleization early in the fourth quarter as he slipped at the one, or actually early in the second half. That was in the third quarter. And here he is going to be marked down what would appear to be inches shy with a timeout, 1:03 left in regulation. Keep it here for the chains, and by the nose he got the first down. Got a good spot of the 47, so 1st and 10 with 1:03 for Furman.
Yeah, and by the smallest of margins, Orlebar got him on the ground. Otherwise he's gone for about another 20 yards. You got that right, David.
Basketball next from their own 47, Furman. Martin again ready to take off. Martin to the secondary, to the 36-yard line of Appalachian State. A 17-yard keeper. Wiggins finally with the tackle. In the first meeting this year, Martin to Patrick Sprague with 31 seconds to go to win it 34-31.
John Wiley, the defensive coordinator for Appalachian, must have a sky guy. He's going to have to leave somebody in the middle, Zod Kelly or somebody like that. Otherwise, Martin will kill him running it.
Under 30 seconds. Martin again forced to scramble. Didn't see Jason Hunter coming. He coughs it up. Omar Byram returns the fumble. Byram tripped up at the 1. And Appalachian State will move on to their first 1AA national championship game.
Number 97, Jason Hunter, of all the great plays he's made in his career at Appalachian State, never made one greater than this. Here he comes, inside out. The hand was not going forward. Was not a difficult call for the officials. They made the correct call. Celebration flags abound, but you can hardly blame this bunch from Appalachian State. Look at Jerry Moore. You got to just be sick for the Furman bench and rejoice with the Appalachian bench, because so much heart and soul has gone into this contest.
Well, what did we say about 3 hours and change ago? This would probably come down to the last minute. Richie Williams was not on the field to decide it. Had to watch, crutches in hand from the sideline, and will watch Friday night as Trey Elder and Appalachian State will take on Northern Iowa for the 1AA national title from Chattanooga, Tennessee. A 63-yard fumble return by Omar Byram.
Bobby Lamb is on the field. Excuse me, David. Bobby Lamb is out at the hash mark on the field. He obviously intends to keep this game from continuing, because maybe he believes that there should be some sort of recompense by the officials or some sort of review process. I don't know if the Southern Conference, frankly, does that. No review in the Southern Conference. That's what I thought.
Well, I think you're right. I think that was the right call all the way. The fumble caused by Hunter before Martin could get the arm moving forward. Lambeau's going to be heard one way or the other.
Lamb and Martin insisting that the arm was coming forward. That's simply not the case.
Well, the call has been made.
Yeah, there's nothing to review. There's not a review system.
Mountaineers called their last time out. We'll look at it again. Martin scrambles, will not see Hunter coming from his blind side. And the ball was not going forward.
No.
Byram was by this point, though.
Well, the big fella Byram needed to get on the ground and not be showing us his moves. because the only way that his team could have lost the game is if he were to cough it up. Arm is back, not coming forward.
Ingle Martin wraps up his career in spectacular fashion, the all-time Furman passing leader in just 2 seasons. But that final play of his career, no doubt, is going to stick with him for a lifetime.
That's the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct on the Furman coaching staff. 15-yard penalty. Be 1st and 10. Appalachian State.
Well, you have to call that, don't you, when a coach comes that far out on the field?
You just can't let that happen. And you can understand Bobby Lamb's discomfort with the call. But there's no sense going out there when there's no review system in your league. And, of course, the 15 yards doesn't mean anything. But he'll be censured by his conference, and he'll get a letter of reprimand. But you can't blame him. You can't blame anybody on either team. It's a shame that either of these teams had to lose this game. But it is football, and it's the way it works. What a great football game, and what a great scene.
A few thousand folks ready to storm the field here at Kidd Brewer Stadium. After one more snap. Uncharted territory for Appalachian State. They will make their first ever 1AA national championship game. They'll take on Northern Iowa in Chattanooga, Tennessee, Friday night, 8 Eastern, here on ESPN2. The Mountaineers win it 29-23.
And you got to hand it to Trey Elder, the youngster who's never played in a losing game that he started. Now he has relieved in the biggest game of his life. And when the chips were down, he got his team down the field. And you got to hand it to him, and down come the goalpost.
For Bill Curry and Janine Edwards and our entire ESPN crew, Dave Barnett, this has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Michigan, South Florida next. From Boone, North Carolina, we send you to Dave O'Brien and Rick Majerus.